Hey Ed, how you doing? Be right back. Mia wants a bone or something. I don't know. Well, give me this bone. Okay. Sorry about that, Ed. Welcome, welcome. Gonna start off a little slow. I can just kind of feel it today. Just a little bit slower than normal, but hey, it is what it is. Can't sweat the things you can't control, right? Oh, here comes Justin. Good morning, Justin.
Oh,
Okay.
what's up, Edward Mark?
Edward and Mark are there. Here comes Mark now. So how are you doing this morning or this afternoon? Where it's afternoon for you, right? Mark?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, it's only 9 o'clock a.m. here. I went down and got a ship this morning and posted it. I went down at about 6 o'clock this morning.
well, that's good. It's
Well,
nice and
I
sunny.
find myself keep waking up between 5 and 6 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
I can't sleep any longer than that. And what I did is I woke up at midnight and the TV was going and I was sleeping. So I had to turn the TV off and doze back again.
I watched Lloyd and then Drone Nation last night, so it was 3:30 when I went to bed.
How'd Lloyd channel to go?
I was up at about 11:15.
I went over and played Fortnite with Jason for a little bit and then took off.
Did you?
And I went to and watch
Hi,
everybody's
Jody.
shows.
Good morning, Jody, aka Frank Rizzo.
Mhm.
So any big plans for you today, Justin, or no?
Not today, no.
How's Sarah doing?
She seems to be doing a lot better now. Her medication seems to be adjusting, so the
Oh,
body's adjusting to it. So
good to hear.
said that last night. She goes, my stomach's still a little upset, but she goes, for the most part, I'm feeling better. So
Mhm. Yeah, not many people about this morning.
No, it's kind of slow, but that's all right. You
I'll
get them
pick up.
every once in a while.
I give it a little bit of my pickup.
Mm, still, there's 7 people watching, and with Jody and Edward in the chat, that makes 5 of us. So
Okay.
two somebody else is somewhere.
Well,
got-
and
I got a ship just coming into the channel up on the north end, so I might pop out in a bit. And I'll let you know.
the people, Paul will have like 25 people watching and like 5 people talking in the chat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Some
true.
people just lurk. They don't ever say anything. Think about this, right? I wonder how many people have been watching somebody's show for years and have never said nothing in the chat, so you have no idea they even watch you,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people that do that, that will never chat in the chat, but they'll watch every time.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a nice sunny day and it's 16 degrees and it's gonna get up to 18. So, of course, it's blowing at 40 mile an hour. But
And Viking ship videos up to almost 400 views.
well, that's good.
Well, I'm
Mind you,
sure.
it's more of an interesting ship to look at than the usual ones, I
Oh yeah.
suppose, for most
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different watching them. Well, you probably have 3 times as many views that the people on the ship knew you filmed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They probably have no idea.
Well, the other thing too is I don't live stream from down there. I don't technically I'm not up on that kind of stuff, so I don't live stream the drone footage.
And everybody I know that live stream seems to have a big pain in the ass doing it.
Yep.
Like it doesn't even sound
Yeah.
like it's like I did it a couple of times with the Mini 2. I think it was the Mini 2 or the Air 2, with the Air 2, and it was just a pain in the ass, dude. It wasn't even fun.
Mm. What was that using Prism?
Yeah, but this was also back when Prism was kind of still in its infancy, so it wasn't
Mm.
really all that great. There was a
Yeah.
lot, but it still has a lot of fucking weird glitches to it. Like they've
Mm.
gotten better over the years, but it's still a little finicky. Like Jason uses Prism to film to do his live streams.
Yeah.
And I asked him last night, I said, are you purposely delaying your stream? Because it's delayed about 5 or 6 minutes. And he goes, no. He goes, I don't know why it does that. And then JD made a comment that he thinks, he said he notices that it gets a little longer the longer he streams, the delay, which is really weird.
Yeah, innit?
But he was almost 5 or 6 minutes delayed last night. I was like, holy crap. By the time me and Tim would say something, it'd take him 5 or 6 minutes to respond to it.
Yeah.
And it
Oh, it
wasn't that he
takes.
wasn't paying attention to the chat or anything. He pays
Yeah.
attention to his chat.
Yeah, even when he's driving.
Yeah, he's good at it, but that's what I'm saying is like there was a huge delay we could tell last night. And then the other night we were both live simultaneously playing Fortnite together. And my stream
Uh-huh.
was like 10 or 15 seconds. And his was almost like 2 to 4 minutes in a delay.
Yeah,
Behind
that's
mine.
not really good for a live, is it?
I mean, if you're a big streamer and you got thousands of people in your chat, it's not a bad way to go just because it keeps people from stream sniping your games, which means it
Mm.
keeps them from being able to go in and actually see where you're at in the game because they're always way behind, you know?
Mm.
But I mean, for what Jason's doing, yeah, don't need to be delayed that much. Usually, most of the guys, the big streamers I watch, usually they only do like a 40 to 50-second delay. They don't do like 5 minutes.
Mm.
They just want it enough to where if a player's trying to follow them in a game or comes into a lobby with them,
Yeah.
no matter where they go, they're always behind them. So they can't catch up with them, so they can't watch their stream to try to get an upper hand on them.
Yeah, to attack them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Jason got pretty good at that game.
Mm-hmm. Which one we playing?
Fortnite. He
All right.
definitely dove deeper into all the little side shit you can do than I did. I never paid attention to that crap. I just went in there to kill people. What's
Yeah.
up, Jody?
Okay. Coming or going?
I don't get half of these games.
Oh, man.
Well, if you ain't played games since like Pong, dude, it's totally different.
How's my ship coming?
Like Tim really hadn't screwed with games since like the early 90s. Like it's been a long time since he played video games. And when he started
Yeah.
playing, he couldn't believe just the advancement in the 20 years or so he hadn't touched a video game. 20, 30 years, how much more advanced they've gotten.
Yeah. I mean, I used to play like Mortal Kombat,
Hmm.
the martial arts game.
Used to play that on Sega.
And I used to play it on a PlayStation 1. I have got a PlayStation 2. And Kate Kate got a PlayStation 4, but God alone knows where that is.
I think it was a Sega Genesis I used to play Mortal Kombat on. I think it was. When Nintendo bought out Sega, they own all their games now.
I must have at least 100 or so PlayStation games, but they're only, well, mainly for the two.
See, the PlayStation 2 isn't a very sought out system only because there were so many of those made.
Yeah.
That still holds the record as the number one sold console in history. It sold like over 150 million units. So there's still so many in circulation. They're just not worth anything.
No. I've got 2 PlayStation 1s.
Morning.
Anybody asking more than $40 for a PlayStation 2, unless it's some rare ass model, yeah, it ain't worth it.
Stop. Good morning. Morning.
Morning, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
What's up, Joe?
Was that David? Yeah.
And sports games like almost hold no value at all. As soon as the next year comes out, they ain't worth shit. Nobody will buy them. That's one thing you'll see resellers when they go to buy video games at garage sales and stuff. They won't buy sports games.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things they did with like the football game, the FIFA. They always put the year after the name.
And every year they come out with a new one.
Yeah.
The minute they come out with a new one, no one gives a shit about the old one anymore.
That's it.
You're pissed. You're pissed.
Yeah, it's the same way with Madden and stuff over here.
Yeah, I mean, Kate was more interested in playing the games than I was.
One of the most sought out systems at the moment are 64s, Nintendo 64s.
Hmm.
They're going for a pretty good penny.
Yeah, no, my eyesight is not the best of things for playing games with.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Especially with the games like Fortnite and all that, it's super fast paced all over the place.
Yeah.
I think
What you
they
up
had me
to, Jay?
trained well.
Hmm?
They had me trained well. They get their
Yeah.
treats in the morning. They gotta have their everything treats, everything. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna leave y'all here. I'm gonna move.
Hmm. Yeah, leave them there and you move in with a vet.
I'm gonna move because they got me trained well. This is their house. It's not nothing to do with me. Yeah. Yeah. My son said the dogs know that.
Yep.
Hand me the hemp treats. In a refrigerator. Let me give it right back. I gotta give them the sticks. Hey, Justin, I gotta get the hip treats for the dog. Gotta give him the sticks.
What are you out of them?
Yeah, he's up here because he gets it in the morning. No, not
I thought
y'all.
you
Y'all
have them
not
on
druggy.
you have them on auto reorder, don't you?
Oh, yeah. They come in every 6 weeks.
Yeah, you save money too if you do those auto reorders through Amazon. They usually knock off a few dollars.
It's a couple dollars cheaper.
We do that with a lot of household items too, like dish soap and stuff like that.
I've got 2 reorders. The pads and the hips. Everything I got reorders the dog. Nothing for me, just for the dog.
Hmm.
Whole house going to the dogs. I feed them. I clean up their shit. I clean the carpet when they pee on the carpet. That's all I do.
That's
And
it.
then
When
all
the
I get out
first
of it is I get these faces looking at me like, "Oh, we love you." No, they're not. No, they don't love me. They wear my food.
mm, when I get paid on the first of the month, that's when I have to go and do the shopping for a month's
they're about to bark for some more.
dog food, a month's cat food, maybe some extra fish food.
Bark for more.
And I get to the checkout in the shop, put all the stuff on the thing, and there's about 15 items for the dog and the cat and the fish, and maybe a couple of bits for me.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Huh?
Shit,
Yeah,
Paul
my
went
son.
yesterday and got what, 2 50-pound bags of peanuts and a big ass
Yeah,
bag of birdseed.
How much does that cost?
God knows.
A 50-pound
50,
bag of
100 pounds of peanuts. How
I
much does that
think
cost?
I think they're like $50 a bag or something.
I think it's more than that. I think he said he spends like 300 on peanuts.
And he said it pisses his neighbors off too, because he's always feeding the squirrels.
Yeah.
Oh, when you feed one animal, sometimes it'll attract other ones too, because Paul's had a problem with skunks around his house too, real bad.
Yeah, I
He
don't
had-
think I'd want skunks, but I don't mind squirrels. I've
He
got a
had-
squirrel somewhere out there.
The squirrels ate all that bird feed and hamster feed I put out in the thing. They ate every bit of it. It's all gone. I mean, it was a big ass pile too. It was probably 10 pounds worth of bird seed and hamster food. They ate every bit of it.
Okay, guys,
Mhm.
I'll be back.
All right. Is somebody co-host?
What's that?
Somebody co-host?
I think you all are co-hosts.
Okay.
Let me check.
I wouldn't know.
Yep, you're co-host.
Okay.
Hey, Paul,
Yeah,
how much does it cost for your peanuts
peanuts.
when you buy the peanuts?
50-pound bag is I get it feed and seed, and it's about $49 a bag.
Okay,
About $1 a pound.
Because when I go to like to Tractor Supply or whatever, you get only like $30. You only get like 15 pounds.
I thought there
Mhm.
were more than that.
Yeah, but he goes through like one bag a week.
Yeah, about 1 bag to 2 bags, depending upon how it's going.
You
Eat.
put them on a
Jesus.
diet, or you need to start eating some.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right now, there's 12 of them out there.
12. God.
And they're gonna get their friends.
I've had as many as 15 out there at one time,
Wow.
and they're all about the size of a small house cat.
Yeah, it'd be good eating. I tell you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, our
Yeah,
squirrels
if I
tend to
don't
be only
throw-
about
if I don't throw the peanuts out when they want them, they come
8
up on the
inches
branch
long, something like
and
that.
knock on the window.
Wow.
Mm.
So
I'll be back. Okay, go ahead.
I think mostly our squirrels are about 8 to 10 inches long, something like that. We have them
You
on
know,
the golf.
there's
We have them on the
there-
golf course as well, and there's one place where they'll on the 10th tee, they come out of the trees and start climbing on your golf bag because they
I
think
th-
you've got food.
I think Paul's problem though is like he's fed them so long, he's probably afraid not to have peanuts because they'll revolt.
Yeah, you don't want to get invaded by a dozen squirrels.
Just
That's
start
like
ripping
my-
his house up looking for peanuts.
they'll start chewing into it and come in inside.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if those squirrels have gotten to a point now where they don't even do their own natural foraging because they don't have to.
Yeah,
You right?
And if
Probably.
Paul, and the day that Paul goes, those squirrels are going to be fucked.
you can just imagine, can't you? Family squirrels. Yeah. We'll go and have a meal out today. Where shall we go? Oh, let's go to Paul's.
My cousin has in a kitchen when she's got like a window, looks out at the carport so she can see people coming up. And she goes out there and puts squirrels come out there and they'll get by the window. They'll climb up her brick, get to the window right there. It's a little brick window ledge. And she would put peanuts out there for them. And now they come up there and they look in and they look at her and they tap on the window. Like, hey, where's my peanut?
Well, that's what Paul says. He says they tap
Yeah.
on his window.
Well, like I said too, and it actually can become a problem after so long because they get dependent on you feeding them. And like I said too, and then it attracts other animals too. And
Yep.
that's probably why he's had problems with skunks around his house because he actually had to call a company in a couple of years ago because he had like a whole family of skunks living outside his house and he had to pay them to come in and remove them. And then he just recently had one or two. It was about 6 or 8 months ago. He had one or two hanging around his house again.
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah, and Bill's dog just kills the squirrels in their garden.
And another thing that happened too was Mia ran out and attacked one of the skunks and got sprayed. And then
Oh,
after
God.
she got sprayed, Paul opened the door and she ran in the house and went all over the fucking
Oh,
couch.
no.
thing.
Ah,
I was like, oh fuck, man.
That would not be, it wouldn't go over well with me.
Oh, dude, I'd have been so pissed, dude. I'd have been out there with the 22 hunting that fucking skunk. I'll tell you that. I don't give a shit if I was in the middle of the city. The only thing we've had in our backyard, besides obviously we have squirrels because they're everywhere, but we've had a couple possums in the backyard. One night I was out there and there's a whole group of them out there fighting. You could hear them out there hissing at each other and chasing each other through the yard.
we've got squirrels and various different types of bird and hedgehogs. And occasionally we get fox. I know there is a fox's dead entrance on my allotment.
But you guys don't really have any big predator animals in England. Like, do you guys have bobcats and mountain lions, anything like that?
Not really. No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Well, we have
Usually,
bear.
if there is a large cat, it's because it's escaped from somewhere.
Apparently, we have bears around here. I've only ever seen one, but it was creamed on the side of the road. Looked like it got hit by an 18-wheeler.
Yeah,
Never
we
seen
do
one
have
actually
wolves.
alive.
Yeah, we've got wolves. That's about it, really. I mean, the foxes are small predatory animals, but wolves are bigger.
But those are dangerous. So wolves
And
ain't
we've
no
got,
joke.
I mean, we've got hawks and ospreys, occasionally eagles, but not mine. Eagles are rare. More like kestrels and peregrine falcons and owls.
Yeah, wolves are predatory enough, though, man. Those ain't no joke.
Mm,
But you
The
probably
big thing,
do what?
that's the big thing we got over here, coyotes.
And terrible Avada 2s.
Hi, Lance.
What was that,
Made me
Joe?
sneeze.
He said, "Huh, bullshit."
Yeah. No, that was a sneeze.
Paul out flying his Air 2S.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, you got a ship coming in.
So I just launched mine and I put the sphere on it. And I don't know if my SD card was full when it was in the air on the sphere or it turns itself off. I haven't figured it out yet. When I landed it, the sphere was off and I don't think the battery died, but I'll have to check when I get to school.
Mm.
Does it attract gators? Does what attract gators, Jim?
The Avada 2?
Eh. Everything attract gators.
Peanuts.
Oh, well, you don't have gators up there. You don't have to worry about that. That's the southeastern United States. Lance, if you can hear us, you broke up real bad. You're frozen.
Okay. I'm in a valley.
It's
You
all right
hear me?
now.
No,
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. So
It's
Joe,
a-
do you guys have gators?
we're losing you.
I'm in a dead zone, I think.
Try turning your video off. It might help. Where you can keep your audio. Yeah, you have. Joe has gators, though. Yeah, pretty much the whole
Yeah.
southeastern United States has
Well-
gators.
Well, you're southeast.
Because they have them all the way up to North Carolina. I don't know about Pennsylvania, but I know North Carolina's got gators.
Aren't you in Florida, Justin?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have them everywhere.
Oh, I thought you said you don't have them where you were.
Oh, no, we do. Now,
No,
if
Paul doesn't have them where he is.
yeah, Paul doesn't have them.
No,
But like,
Paul, he's in Detroit.
yeah.
I know where the southeast is. Yeah. And I don't consider yourself the southeast. I thought you said you didn't. That's why I was
Okay.
going that direction. But yeah,
Yeah,
I was in South Carolina, and I walked by this lake every day when we were on vacation. We get back a week later. A woman was walking her dog at the same lake, and the gator started coming after her dog. So she went into dog, and the gator ate her.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh,
happened down here in Florida too.
I'll
This
go.
old lady walked over to the edge of the lake, and she was very old and frail, like in her 80s. And she couldn't, very slow walker and everything, obviously at that age. And
Yeah.
the gator came up to the edge of the water to grab her dog, and she jumped and she pulled the dog back and got between the dog and the gator, and it dragged her in, killed her.
Probably the same story.
Oh, that's happened. No, that's actually happened quite a few times around the different states that have them. That's actually a very common issue. People take their dogs and let them go to the edge of the water, and it's stupid. You don't do that, especially if you're, like I said, like that lady that was down here in Florida. She should have known better. Like, I feel bad for her, but she couldn't run more than a half a mile an hour, if she went full bore
Yeah.
running. So it's like she should have never been that close to the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had in Lacombe, Louisiana. It's about 8 miles east of me. It's a lot of swampy area down by the big branch of marsh. And a lot of people live in that area around Bayou Lacombe and everything.
Uh-huh.
And they got a woman and a husband that lived there. He was like 85 and she was like 83. And she was inside and heard him yelling and everything. Came outside and they had a gator had him. He was sitting on the steps and the water had come up to the yard. And he was sitting on the steps. The gator come up and grabbed him and was pulling him off the steps. And she ran back inside to grab a broom to hit the gator with. Came back and he was gone. And they found I think it was his hand about a week later, like that. And they never found any other part of him.
They didn't find the actual gator that ate him then, huh?
No, but she said
Yeah.
it was huge. And from what they're saying, from the bite marks on the hand, they said that gator had to be 14 feet.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man. Like I said, if you're somebody that's that old and frail and slow, you should not be near areas like that, because you're not going to be like somebody that's younger that can run. you know, at full speed, if something happens, you know, you're more likely to be able to outrun a gator, especially a big one, because they're not very, the huge ones aren't super fast. I mean,
Yeah. It's either don't go near the water or carry a big ass gun.
right.
I told you I was out at Bayou Signet and I was taking pictures of little baby gators. I mean, little ones. And I said, you know what? There got to be a mom around here somewhere. And I didn't hear anything. And I'm looking around, and all of a sudden they come up like a sub, just submerged, come up like this. Just broke the surface and looked at me. And I looked over at the mom and started coming towards the gators, coming towards us. And it was either the mom or the dad. I'm thinking it was the mom. And it started coming, and it got to the land and started coming out the land. And I walked over, got my Xterra, and this sucker come out the water, and I guarantee it was about 14 feet. That's how big it was. And it tried to bite my tire on my car.
Oh yeah.
And I just kind of rolled back on top of its nose a second, and it bounced away and then walked off. And I drove off, said, hell with this.
I was like
But-
at Disney, they had that kid that got dragged in, the little 5-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but if Disney's gonna have lakes and ponds and within their park, they
Yeah.
should have had some kind of safety gates around those edges of
There's
those
some kind of
waters. and they
safety
didn't.
netting.
Something
Yeah,
to
some
keep
kind of
those
I
netting.
don't
gators out.
fancy going on the log flume in Disney if they've got gators in there.
But that's the thing is like the big lake that they that this kid got drugged into, there was nothing around the edge of it. And you got families and kids walking back and forth right next to it. And the little kid took off away from his parents, ran to the edge of the water, and the gator came out and grabbed him and pulled him under. I can imagine what those parents felt like sitting there watching their kid literally get killed by a gator. Like that.
Well, that's what I was
that
telling
had
you,
to have
that-
been heart-wrenching.
Over at Fontainebleau State Park, they got that pond. It's called Gator Pond because they've got like 4 or 5 of them living them, and they're little ones. And they pulled a 10-foot out last summer, and they had that little kid from that little French couple. That kid went running right by the pond, and I hollered at the guy. I said, "Go grab him! Don't let him go by that pond." Like that, and he ran over there and got his kid, and there was a little gator sitting right there, about there he was. Now I don't know if the little one, if he was aggressive, the little one may have came out after him, but he was about a 2-foot, 3-foot gator. But still, the kid was small too, you know.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
would have been a big enough gator to drag him in, that's for sure.
Oh, I guarantee you,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm.
that would have been terrible. And I would have been there with the drone. That would have been really terrible.
Because like I said, and I think down here in Florida, I think if they're over 5 foot and they cause any kind of disturbance, I think they automatically put them down.
Yeah,
If they're under 5 foot and they're just being a nuisance, but they haven't done anything, they'll just relocate them.
Mm.
I think there's like some kind of thing like that. If they're a certain length, they'll just put them down if they're becoming a nuisance. Now, if they kill somebody or start
They don't.
attacking animals like dogs and stuff, then they'll go and hunt them and kill them just because they don't want the animals to get to the point where they think that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm.
there's a lot of gators that will have been in ponds for years and never attacked anybody. I mean, they're not. I wouldn't say they're as aggressive or hunt, as the news and everybody makes them out to be. They're more opportunist eaters. If you don't give them the opportunity, they're not going to just come out of the water and try to hunt you unless they think they can get you. But like, I don't run across gators just walking down the street and shit around here ever. But if you want to go looking for them, you can find them. If I want to go looking for gators, I can easily find them. But
yeah, that's easy to find.
I don't ever see them like just walking down the street, or I've never seen one running down the road or anything like that. I said the only time I ever seen anything on the road that was gator wise was when I found that big ass gator tail. I don't know where the rest of the gator went to because there was a trail going off in the bushes and he wasn't there. So I don't know what happened to him. But his tail was laying in the middle of the road. Looked like an 18-wheeler just went right over his tail and just completely severed it.
Yeah, we got a boat here called a pirogue, and what it is, it's a flat bottom boat, and it's only about 6 inches wide, but it's only about 6 inches wide from the bottom to the top, like the ledge, and
Right, yeah.
it's usually about 10 foot long, and it's good for the swamps. so you can go through like water that's really shallow.
Yeah,
it
and
just
that-
skims across like an airboat.
Yeah, it's something like that, but
Yeah.
you got to paddle it, right? And
Yeah.
so you got to paddle in it and you got to learn how to be in these things, because if you sneeze, you can flip out of them. You know, that's how they work.
How touchy
My
they are.
brother one time was in one, and he was with another guy. They make them big enough so you could put two people in them. And he was in a 2-man when I was in a 2-man with another one, and we had the little Dunkin' donut holes. And I told him, I said, you want one? He said, yes. So I threw it a little bit out of his reach, and he reached over and flipped the boat, right? So
Oh,
he's in the
fuck.
water, comes out of the water, and they get back in the boat. And Jimmy Fields was giving him a hard time. Why'd you reach for it? You know, he said, well, I thought I could grab it. So I said, yeah, I'm sorry. Here, let me throw you another one. I threw another one right out of his reach. He flipped again. Yeah. So Jimmy told me, I'm gonna beat your ass if you do it. I said, look, yeah, he is younger than me. He ain't beating nothing. You know? But I knew I did that on purpose both times. But what I was getting at, we had a 2-man at the camp, our cousin's camp, and we were in a little slip on the left side of the slip fishing, and we were catching bass. So my brother at the time was about 11 years old. I was like 19, because I'm 8 years older than him. So we're in the thing, and I heard this walking like in the grass. I could hear something walking. So I'm looking around, I can't find it. And then I heard a little splash in water, and I glanced back and I saw a little ripple. And I said, Kirk, do me a favor. I said, don't look back. I said, and it was on my left side. I said, put your oar in the right side. I said, stop fishing, put your oar on the right side and just paddle real slow. Don't paddle where you're gonna splash the water, paddle real slow. And he said, what? I said, you got to listen to me on this, and you got to trust me on this. Just do this. And I'm looking back because I haven't seen it yet, but I could see something under the water coming towards us. And I'm looking, and we were in a 16-foot boat. That's how big our boat was. Okay. He gets in, he starts paddling real slow, and I'm using my paddle just to kind of basically steer us like that. And I look back, and it comes up and surfaces, and it's a gator, right? I'll put it this way. He was almost as wide as us. I couldn't tell the length of him because he was still keeping some of them underwater. And he was just coming, staying with us. But I guarantee he was pretty close to us, the size that we were. Just, you could tell, you know, because of the shadowing. And this thing followed us for about 35 feet. And he said, well, what's going on? I said, don't look back. Trust me. Because I know if he panics, we're going over. You know, so we're going, and finally it slowed down and stayed. He wanted to see what we were. And it kind of backed off a little bit. Then I started paddling, and I pulled over to the side. We got on shore, and I pulled the boat up. I said, now look over there. And that's what it was. And he freaked out, you know. But I tell you, we saw little ones out there, but I'd never seen one that big.
It's like the snapping turtles too. That's something else you got to watch out for. There's
Oh, those things are terrible.
oh yeah, there's a pond not too far from my house, and there's a log, a huge log that sticks up out of the water. It's been there for years, just in this pond. Just you know, it fell over out of a tree, broke, and it's just been jammed in the water there, just sitting. And
Yeah.
every day you'll see about 30 or 40 fucking snapping turtles, massive ones, come up out of there, and they all get up on this log together in a big old group, and they just bask in the sun, and they'll sit there for hours. I mean, there's some
Yeah.
big ass.
Yeah, you gotta watch the snapper. When we used to go crawfishing, we'd have the nets out, all on the nets out, and we see the nets start moving around like that, and we're saying, "Oh, come on!" And we pick it up, and it'd either be a snapping turtle in it eating the crawfish, or it'd be a snake in there eating the crawfish. I'd rather deal with the snake than the snapping turtle.
Yeah, and those
Mm.
things, depending on the size, dude. Like, here, let me show you one.
And those things will bite your hand off if you got your hand. Your fingers, don't get your fingers near 'em.
Yeah, look at this fucker right here. How big this one is.
Whoa!
Look at that.
Check this dude out. That's a snap snapping turtle, alligator snapping turtle.
Fucking
This guy's
huge.
crazy.
Yeah, that thing will take your fucking arm off in one bite, dude.
That guy's an idiot.
Chuck Norris would have a fight with that turtle. Wait till you see that thing on the TV, Mark. That thing is
Yeah, that's
fucking
big.
huge.
Yeah, that mouth on that sucker, that took his arm off.
I would not be picking that up. I would
Yeah,
not
they're
even
not like.
use water knowing that was there.
Yeah, their bite force is insanely strong too.
Yeah. They got people that would that big, they'll have a like a broomstick, stick a broomstick in the mouth and they'll bite it in half.
Mm.
The big ones like that too. The gators don't even like screwing with them
Yeah.
because they'll latch onto them, bite the shit out of them.
And when they bite you, they don't let go.
Because the gators
That's
all the
the other
time try to eat snapping turtles, but they'll get them in their mouth and get stuck. And they'll try to bite down on the shell and they can't because their shells are super strong.
That's all left over from the dinosaur days, I guarantee you.
Then these people go out here in Florida and do these ski shows and shit. I'm like, bro, I'm not stepping foot in one of those fucking lakes.
Nope.
Like, you are out your damn mind. Hell no. Like, when the kids went to camp, I didn't even want them in the lake as they were doing skiing and stuff in the lake over there.
Mm.
There came a point in my life where I stopped getting in water. You know?
Shit, even
Other side.
pools in Florida, you got to worry about finding a gator in every once in a while.
Well, yeah.
People come outside and jump in their pool, and all of a sudden there's a fucking 8-foot alligator sitting in the bottom of their pool.
Oh, they just haven't got enough chlorine in their pool then.
So that thing
happens
went
quite a bit.
that thing went well yesterday with my son.
What did? What are you talking about?
They had to go to Slidell, Louisiana. There was a kid from Pritchard High School, junior high. It was his fourth school he got kicked out of, and he was online with guns and threatening the school and
Oh,
to shoot
yeah,
up the
yeah, yeah.
school.
I remember
And he
seeing
and
this.
CID and St. Tammany police, everybody went there. And the mom said, yeah, he's in his room. And they said they went in to clear the house like they normally do. And Justin was pissed. He said the deputy in front of him was taking his time getting to the back, and he told him, he said, dude, if he's gonna shoot at us, you need to get back there anyway, so we could at least be there before you get to the guns, like that. You know, he told him that afterwards, you know. And he said he was taking his time, and the deputy behind him turned around and walked away, like that, and because he heard something in the back, and instead of telling him he left, he just left the two of them walking in, and the kid had come out of another room and was trying to get out the front door, and they grabbed him in the front room.
Yeah,
And he wound up going to jail.
Been a bad week for cops, man, around the country. We had
Oh, yeah.
2 deputies down here that got shot in a firefight. There was 4 deputies that responded, and 2 of them got shot but survived, and then the other 2 deputies shot and killed the guy. Of course, Grady was on the news talking about, we shot that motherfucker graveyard dead. He said, try it again. He goes, we'll kill you twice. And then there was those fucking cops up in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was 3
Yeah,
U.S.
US Marshals.
And
Yeah.
it was like 3 U.S. Marshals and like 6 cops. 3 of the 3 U.S. Marshals got killed, and then like, what was it, 6 cops got injured or something?
Yeah, it's
shot?
crazy.
Jesus Christ.
And then down here we had in Kenner, the 3 cops that got shot when they pulled up to serve a warrant. And then they wound up going in, busting in the place, and they said he picked up his gun again. When he picked up his gun again, they killed him, you know.
Couple of years ago, they got in a firefight here with a suspect that was from out of state and was wanted on murder. And he was fleeing, and he ended up fleeing to Polk County, which was the wrong thing to fucking do. And he got caught in a house. And he was holed up in a house. He killed the 2 people in the house and was held up in the house. And the police department figured out, or the sheriff's department figured out where he was. He was in the garage hiding under a pool table. So they got their armored SWAT vehicle and just rammed right through the garage, just fucking pretty much just dropped this whole garage on top of this dude. And then he got pinned under the pool table, and then they sent 2 canines in there, and they just ripped the living shit out of this dude. They sent 2
Yeah.
of them in there, and they both had a hold of him and were grabbing him by both of his arms, and they ripped him out from under the pool table. And yeah, and what was cool was I actually gave a ride. Was back when I was Ubering. I gave a ride to one of the canine officers, and his patrol car had gotten damaged during the whole thing, and he needed a ride to the sheriff's department from his house, and he called an Uber, and I ended up picking him up. And he was in full uniform and everything, and was telling me all about it and everything. I was like, holy shit.
Yep.
I asked him, I said, how come you called an Uber? They didn't come pick you up? He goes, no, I was just trying to head in early because I got a bunch of stuff to do. And I just figured I'd call an Uber and get a ride there real quick. It was about a 15, 20-minute drive, but yeah, he was telling me all about it. He goes, yeah, my dog and another dog went in, just ripped the living hell out of this guy. I was like, holy crap.
Yep.
Well, if
I
his
remember when that
vehicle,
happened.
if his vehicle got hurt and he was going back to the station, what happened to the bloody dog?
I don't know where his dog was, probably at the station. I don't know. Or it might have been at his house. I don't know. He was going into, he said he had to go in and do a
Oh,
bunch of paperwork
it
and
wasn't
stuff.
straight afterwards. It was the next day kind of thing.
It was about 2 or 3 days after.
All right.
He said he had to go, he was going in to do paperwork or something, probably for what happened.
Mm.
Something like that happens, man. That's a lot of paperwork and shit you gotta go through.
Mm. Yeah.
So me and Best Buy getting ready to go to war.
Why? What happened?
They canceled the remote on me, remember? But they haven't taken it
Yeah.
off my bill. Still sitting on my bill.
Yeah, if they canceled it, it should automatically have been refunded.
Yeah,
Or
they
taken
said we're gonna
off.
refund it, but they never did.
Well, do they have the controllers available now? Or
No,
did you already get one?
no, I'm not getting. I don't think I'm gonna get one.
I was gonna say, I'd go in there and say, well, if it's still on there and you got them, give me one.
Mm.
Well, I'm gonna call them and tell them, look, first off, they charged me wrong for it too. They're supposed to charge me $199. They charged me $109 for some reason. And then the $109 was never refunded. I was hoping they'd take the $199 off, you know.
Yeah.
It won't be the first mistake they've ever made with me. When I bought the PlayStation 4, went in there and she asked me if I wanted the game thing that was attached to it. It was like $39 or something like that. And I said, no, we don't need that. Some kind of gaming service.
Yeah, Game
Said,
Pass.
yeah, that's what it was, Game Pass. I said, no, I don't want it. So she said, okay. So we went through everything, and I had bought a TV at the same time. And she gave me my price, and he just walked by with Boston creams. You know, and she gave me the price and everything. And we're going out the store, and we're getting in the car, and the kids and the boys are all happy. And I get in the car, and I started getting, and I said, take a good look at that receipt as I drove off, right? I said, take a good look at that receipt. Something just doesn't feel right with the price before I go too far. like this. And Nick looks at it, he says, well, the TV price, and she goes, well, the PlayStation was only $39.99. I said, what do you mean? She says, yeah, that's what it says. What's it say? It says Game Pass. It was Game Pass. I said, yeah, she scanned the wrong thing.
She
So I
left the
got the
Game Pass
PlayStation
on
for
and took the
$39.99.
PlayStation off.
Yeah, so she didn't scan that barcode. She scanned the barcode on the other one. So I got the PlayStation 4 for $39.
You didn't go back and tell him?
Nope. Don't worry, I paid for that in the long run. It's cost me other things. You know, that's why I always say whenever you got a mistake like that, you go fix it because it's going to cost you something inconvenient time. Yeah, at the time I just had my knee done and I didn't want to go back and get in line and stand there. You know, it's like I said, let's just go. I wonder how many she did like that during the day.
Yeah, that's a big fuck up right there.
Yeah, she may have done 4 or 5. Because there were people in line still getting them, you know.
I'm getting some weird phone calls today.
Yeah, it was a Black Friday too. That was another thing. So it was perfectly crowded. So I don't know how many people got one for $39 that day.
Yeah, Game Pass just gives you like on Xbox, like it gives you exclusives like to certain games and stuff. Like they give you
Yeah.
free games and shit with it every month. And you get some benefits and stuff. Unless you're heavy gaming, it's really not worth the extra money.
Hi, Jim.
I got one bill I wish I'd never have gotten that I gotta go pay. I pay once a month. It's up in Covington where my son works. It's just a pain in the ass to get to because they got construction there. And if I pay it online, it's a $4.95 service fee. So I'm not gonna pay him $5 extra on it. So
That's
once a month I gotta
ridiculous.
take a ride up there. It's just a pain.
So you're gonna go through the inconvenience to save $5?
Yeah.
Cheap bastard.
Probably cost you more than $5 in petrol to get there and back.
No, it doesn't cost me that much to get there, but I get to pass like Arby's and I can get 2 roast beefs for $6 too.
Ah,
buy the
there
roast
it is.
beefs.
There it
Yeah,
is.
that's
There's
where he goes. Yeah.
Hey, Joe, I made a special side trip for you, buddy.
Yeah,
I
we
already saw
noticed.
you walk by with it. When you started walking by, I
We
said he's
don't
got Boston
believe you
creams.
went to do a ship today. You just made the excuse so you could go to get your Boston creams.
Yeah,
we
he
saw
did.
you. I saw that box underneath your arm when you walked by.
He's like, look at this ship footage from like 2 months ago. I just did it. I swear.
No, I did just do a ship. And here's another ship coming up bound. He pulled out, he was fueling up down in Sarnia.
And you would have shot him too, but you'd rather the Boston cream. I know.
Well, no, I just didn't want to leave you guys hanging. Especially
wanted-
since I know that you wanted to see my Boston creams, so.
We'd rather eat your Boston creams.
Well, I'll eat them for you, and you can just kind of through osmosis just kind of understand how good they are.
See, I got to pass Dunkin' Donuts too. Maybe I ought to stop there.
Oh, the Dunkin' Donut holes when they're fresh are really good. So is Krispy Kreme. When they put that fresh and or what is it, ready hot or whatever in the window. Turn the sign on.
We used to have a bakery down in Lower Ninth Ward, right there near Araby, when I was growing up, and they had a light out there that would start blinking when their French bread was coming out the oven, the fresh French bread, and we lived about 8 blocks from the place. You could actually smell it if the wind was blowing our way, and it'd be like 11 o'clock at night, and they'd stay open. They'd stay whenever the French bread came out, they'd open up so people could come. They had people working there that just open the front and sell it. And I can remember my dad at 11 o'clock at night smell the French bread. So I'll be back and go get one, come back and just put butter on it and eat it. You know?
Are you ready, Joe? Now, just
Oh, yeah.
imagine the delicacy and the flavor.
Yeah, imagine all that cream squirting in your mouth, Joe.
Imagine that. Hey, Tim would understand.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh yeah, he's blaming me because he hasn't been getting no sleep the last 2 days.
Who, Tim?
Yeah, he's like, because now he's all addicted to Fortnite like Jason is. And what's funny is I tried to get him to play it for like the last couple of months. I kept saying, let's play Fortnite. Oh, no, I'm good. Then he decided to download it the other night, and now he's been staying up till like 9, 10 o'clock in the evening playing when he usually goes to bed at like 4 or 5.
Morning, Jim's droning.
So I was informed by my daughter yesterday that come the fall, she's going back to school 2 days a week. And I said, I already know that was coming because I heard something about it. I don't know why I froze. I don't know why I froze, but I heard something about it. About my ex said she's got to talk to you about the fall. But she she's going back to she's a LPN, she's going back to get an RN. And she's got class on Monday and Wednesday, like 11 o'clock to 12:30. And she said, so, oh, you're gonna be able to watch Lily. I said, you do know Wednesday I have football in the fall. I said, that's why you need to ask me before you do these things. And I said, but 11 o'clock, I said, if you drop her off and then pick her up right afterwards, I'm good. So it looks like in September, I'm going to start having her 2 days a week for sure. And she's killing me right now because they'll FaceTime me and she'll look at me. And as soon as she sees me, she starts smiling and she goes, Papa, like that. And then my daughter will say, I, and she goes, love you, Papa. And that's just killing me. She's training her to milk me. That's what it is.
As well, she should.
She's gonna try to get money out of me. What?
Well, on the days when she's going to be at school, wouldn't she normally be at work anyway?
No, she works at night.
All right.
Yeah, she goes to work 6 o'clock to 6 in the morning, 12-hour shift, 3 days a week.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, she got a good shift.
Did you see the birds attack?
I saw the birds, swallows.
So I hate when I worked for the gas company, man. Every other area manager around Florida, they all worked 4 10-hour shifts, 3 days off. I was the only one that had to work 5 8s. I was like, man, I'd love to work 4 10s and have 3 days off. But every other sector in Florida, they did 4 10s with 3 days off.
Well, our working
Yeah.
week is only 35 hours anyway, so did 5 7s.
They're talking about
because it was
pushing
all
work.
it was all flex
they're-
time, so you could work it whenever you wanted, so long as you worked it.
They're all talking about making work week 32 hours now. I don't know how the fuck that's going to work.
Well, that's a 4-day week on 8
Yeah,
hours.
but then, yeah, going to have to pay 8 hours overtime when most companies have always been around, you know, a 40-hour work week. They've always worked around, and now force companies to either give 32 hours or pay 8 hours overtime. That was never a thing before. I just don't see how that's gonna work.
Mm. We just had to work 140 hours in 4 weeks. And if we did 154 hours in those 4 weeks, the extra 14 hours went into the next 4 weeks as 2 days off.
So now we have a protest, Palestinian protest on Tulane University, right there on St. Charles Avenue, which is the big street across from Audubon Park. It's a big historic street.
That's another long one, Paul.
Is that?
I said
Oh, it's
that's
good
another
size.
long one.
It's not the largest, but it's about 875 feet.
Mm.
This is getting ridiculous.
Well, yeah, that's, you know, the protest things, and those people,
Yeah.
the young kids that are just doing that are dumber than a box of rocks, and they're in college.
You're right. But that's the
They just-
professors. The
They're just
professors
doing
get
it
shit.
because it's what's it?
I
Like
mean,
what they used to
must-
call them.
I'm up to here
Anarchists.
talking about how bad Israel is. Not a one of them says anything about Hamas attacked Israel.
You're right. You're right.
They're dumber than
And
a
right
box of
now-
rocks.
Right now, there's a big all the aid going to Hamas that's coming from all the countries like the United States and everything to help them, to give them food and all of this for all their people. Hamas is blocking it, won't even let it come in. So
Apparently
going
they
on,
were
man?
at the apparently they were at peace talks the other day, and then they just left yesterday. In the
yeah,
middle
they
of
said
them
they're
or
not,
something.
and the United States said this is the best deal they're going to get, and they said nope, we don't want it. So it one bomb, that's it. Just make it a desert. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Because I'm telling you, and I've told this, maybe it's the Marine in me, but all the kids in that country are being grown to be Hamas.
Yeah.
You know, until the mindset of that country's changed, it's going to continue, and it's not going to change.
No.
There's no change in it.
No, the radicalism of Islam is terrible. It's like a scourge.
Well, I'll close my doors. Even though it's 16, 17 degrees outside, it still feels chilly.
You know, one of the guys yesterday said, how you put it? It was in Austin, Texas. They had the Palestinian group and the Israeli group. And one of the Jewish group said, he said, the funny part about it, he says, a lot of these people in here are LGBTQRS, whatever it is, like this. And he said, they don't realize if they go over there, they'd be beheaded.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that.
I've
He
said that
they don't have
before.
a clue.
They're not tolerant in those Middle Eastern countries
You
of
know?
that.
He said they don't realize what they're dealing with. It's just, but what's got me madder than hell about this is that a lot of these are here on visas, and if it's for school, and if they're saying death to America, and they're saying, all of this stuff, and they're saying we are Hamas, you revoke the visa, send them back. Even this crazy woman in Congress, that a congresswoman goes out there with them and supports them. She needs to go to. I'm sorry, she needs to be kicked out of Congress.
Yep, but they won't do it. The other
take
thing
it-
that
take it
really
back.
kind of grinds me is the news medias. They don't tell you about all of the women being suppressed in these Arab countries. They're beheaded because they didn't have the babushka on in public, or they walk behind the men and they're not to speak unless spoken to. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why Saudi Arabia and a lot of those the real touristy now Middle Eastern countries, I guess you want to say,
Yeah.
they're starting to open up more on women's rights and stuff because they know Westerners don't agree with that, and it's actually hurting their tourism. And so they're now having to force to, some of them are actually starting to go more Western on some of their views because otherwise they're not going to get anybody wanting to come there.
Yep.
And that's who they're trying to attract for their tourism. Yeah, you go ahead and tell an American woman she's got to put something on your head. She's going to tell you to piss off.
She's gonna slap you. What you talking about?
American women don't play around.
She'll look at you and say, "I know where you sleep, bitch." Like
Well,
my mom.
Women still have to cover the shoulders and arms and head when they go in the Vatican.
It's like I think it was Saudi Arabia just recently started letting women drive and stuff. Like they've started to open up a little bit more on the women's rights.
Their
Like I said,
insurance will
because
go
of
up.
oh, for fuck's sake.
There you go. Now
Oh,
they're gonna
dude,
be
get to the right
driving,
movie.
putting makeup on.
There are some Arab countries where the family is ruled by the oldest woman.
The oldest what?
Woman.
Never heard that.
There are some Arabian countries where it's matriarchal rather than patriarchal.
But the family is controlled by the oldest boy in the family. She's just a figurehead.
That's like the United Arab Emirates. Their main problem with their tourism right now is they've had to cancel a bunch of their big major projects that they were going to do because they're building nothing but a millionaire and billionaires playground, and they're not getting enough people wanting to come there to do stuff instead of trying to cater to like all different walks of, you know, it's like everything's super expensive there. If you want Westerners to move there and spend money, you build a somewhat affordable housing. You don't have to build mansions for everybody. That's why half their whole island projects are all now in the ocean. That one, the one set of islands that they were working on, they ended up giving up on that. Now half of them are going back to the ocean. Now the ocean's starting to reclaim. They're going to spend all their money on stupid shit, and then they're going to run out of oil, and then they're going to be broke.
We spent a fortune building the golf courses they've got there.
Oh yeah, they actually built like a what was it, a $5 or $10 million FPV course there too.
Yeah.
Now, isn't it interesting how karma always comes around? Look at the Californians; they're complaining now because they're pissed because $14 a gallon gasoline.
Oh, they're the ones that keep voting those people in. So
That's right.
Yep.
You know, we got
damn
American
fault.
companies here that could pump oil and make gas like no tomorrow. But oh no. Protect the environment. No, yeah.
$14 a gallon. That's bloody expensive. Even for here.
That's crazy.
Actually, I think that's what we should do. Just keep buying everybody else's oil, and then when we're the only ones that have it left, we'll be sitting pretty.
So I got that notice again for the battery level saying that the batteries in my keyboard are low. It's at 100%.
Hmm.
Stupid
Hey,
ass
Joe,
computer.
what is a typical way you land your Avata 2? What do you do?
Safely.
That's good.
No, I bring it back and just land it. I usually bring it when it's coming back to me. When I get to the land, I got a little landing pad. And when I get to the landing pad, I usually can judge where I'm right over it. And then I just bring it down with with either I press the orange key and hold it or bring the down key. The down joystick.
But if you are in acro, it'll do an acro if you bring the down button down.
Not if you're that low. Once you're under 5 feet, it won't.
Got it. So it'll just start coming down then.
Yeah, but you got to be because if you look on the goggles to the left side, you got the 3 little deals. It'll say slide 180, and then the flip. As long as it's not in orange, it can't do it. It's got to light up in orange because you got to be at 5 feet.
If it's grayed out.
Yeah, it's grayed out.
But you hold the orange button down.
Yeah, you hold the orange button when you get to where you're gonna land, and just hold it, and it'll start landing. I think one time it didn't do that for me.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the reason was. It wouldn't land. I just used the joystick to bring it down. But I don't know why. Maybe I hit it twice or something,
Okay.
So are you loving the Avata?
I think that was for you, Lance.
That says it all.
Oh,
Actually,
I get it. I get it.
I-
Lance says the Avata is golden because silence is golden. I get it.
Actually, I love it, Paul. For the most part, it's a really good drone. But
Clip
I
that.
still go back to the remote RC too slippery and too small, and it flies terrible in the wind, and it doesn't land, and it doesn't do. Oh, I guess I don't like it. No, I like
I don't. Now you got to admit, when I was flying in the wind, those trees were dancing, and it was flying pretty good.
Yeah, and in an open area, it'll be fine. It's my big toy, gaps that I won't be able to fly in wind. So I just need to take that into account.
Hey, morning, Jonathan.
Or aim for bigger holes and bigger gaps.
Yeah, the size of a dump truck.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think they've got there's potential. I can't believe it. Someone hasn't recommended or said, and I'm going to right now, is in the what do they call it? The live view in the goggles where you can see, the live view.
Yeah.
If they would reverse that and make the live view small and in the corner, and your drone, the picture of the drone, bigger, to be able to
I agree.
toggle between the two.
I thought you could do that.
I don't think you can.
I haven't been able to figure it out because it's a loop.
The live view is big and the drone is
Probably
big.
another. I'm sure I've seen people when they've been talking about it, they say that you can actually change it so that it's the other way around. So that you can always have the small version of the live view in the corner while you're flying and looking at your FPV on the full screen.
If anyone has the Avata 2 that's in the chat and can do that, let us know. Joe and I
What's up, Jonathan?
Yeah, I can't figure it out. So I have a project that I want to do
check
I've got
out
a case.
check out one of Marcus's videos. He's bound to
Yeah.
have sorted that out.
Yeah, Marcus might say something about it. Yeah, I got a project I want to do. I've got a rolling case that I bought a couple years ago, few years ago, about 6 years ago. And it's actually 8 years ago for my cameras. And it holds the 300 lens, it holds the 120 lens, it holds two bodies, holds a bunch of stuff. And they got a place called Custom Foam that you can give them the size of your case, show them what you want in it, and they'll do a custom design for you. But I think you have to lay the stuff out in that dimension and take the pictures. Take a picture and then they'll do it and they'll send it to you. And if it's not right, they'll redo it. Costs about $150 for the foam, which is cheap. And it's not just foam, it's the good stuff that's got the plastic insert on top so it's not going to be the cheap foam. It's not the pluck apart, you know? So I'm thinking about getting this design and putting all these I want to put the Mavic 3, the Air 2S, and the Avata 2 in that, and set it up where the batteries, everything will go in it, and try to make me a case so I could take one case that rolls and have all of that in there.
I was going to say you'd need a guitar case for that.
Well, it's not that it's big enough because I've laid the stuff inside the case, and it's big enough to do it. I might just lay them in the case the way I want them, and then take a picture like that and say, "This is what I'm looking at. Is this picture good? Can you do it this way?" Or what do I have to do? Do I have to make like a template, you know, and take it like that, you know, what do I have to do? But I would love to have a rolling case. So say I go to the drone meetup next year, I just got that one case with all my drones in it. It's a rolling case, you know. I think that'd be nice.
Yeah, get one of these split toolboxes, and you could have two levels of a case as well.
Well, you know, the people that make the cases always you can contact them and they'll tell you what they can and cannot do, what it would cost.
Well, this company, it's $150 and it's called Custom Foam or it's Custom something. Might be Custom Foam. I've got it in a bookmark in one of these places. But I just don't understand what they need from me. I'm gonna have to contact them directly.
Yep,
I really
you
think
need to talk with them.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
think
if
what I need to
they
do is just lay it in the case and take a picture.
lay it in there as the layout that you want it, because
Yeah,
I'm
that's what
sure
I
they
mean.
can get the dimensions for the drones and batteries and all that.
They don't. They might be able to, but they tell you they want a picture of what you have at the way you want it in the case.
Right.
You know, then they go ahead and cut it from there. And it's the hard foam, you know, that everything will fit down in it. And they say if it doesn't fit exact, or if you're not satisfied, they'll redo it for you. So it mustn't cost them hardly anything to do them. If they charge you $150 and they'll redo them.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be pretty cool to have one case that I could put like the Mavic 3, Air 2S, and then like an Avata in there. And then have the batteries and the controllers and everything to just drop them in. So the only time I would use it is if I'm going somewhere where I'm going to bring all three. But I'd have it, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a case that had the capability of putting the Air 2S and the Mini 3 Pro in it,
Mm-hmm.
and just one controller, the RC controller, and then batteries for each, obviously.
We'll go get the case and show you.
Do it posh and have it done in a leather briefcase.
I wouldn't want it in leather. Because it's not crush proof, you know.
Well, neither are the hard cases, depending on what's actually going to crush them.
Well, the thing of it is I've got hard cases here that you can throw around and drop from a 5-story building and it won't disintegrate. But that's the way they are. That's the way they're made.
Yeah. I mean, I've got my Mini 3 Pro in a hard case.
Trying to remember the name of these cases.
That's only because I won it.
The Simkey, that's the Lidkey. All my bigger hard cases were a different brand name, and they were made out of California.
See, that's the case.
Oh yeah. What's the brand name on it?
That's some off-brand. It's like a Pelican. It's a knockoff of a Pelican.
Pelican's the big case. Yep.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the name Pelican. But
That's
you can
just-
also you can contact Pelican and tell them what you're looking for, and chances are you're not the first person to ask for that case, and they have the schematic to do it.
Yeah.
Camera case, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a 300. I had 2 bodies, a 120. Had a place for batteries to go in, everything. So the more I look at it now, yeah, it could be done. Because add to the Mavic 3, add to us. No, it might not fit 3.
It will do if you make it 2 levels. Make it so it's got a tray so that you can lift the top level out and then everything else is underneath it.
Well, you got another point. I could take the Avata and lay it vertical because it's deep enough with the top where it could lay vertical. Oh yeah, that would work because I would have it vertical and I'd have spots for the batteries. It would take me playing with it to. Hey, I tell you how I could do it, and it's just like I could put it on a spreadsheet and grid it and measure everything out and then just grid it the way I need and then play around with it and see where it go. What would be the best fit?
Just make cardboard cutouts of the actual shapes.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is the more I'm looking at this because of the I don't know if we got goggles, got controller. It'd be one controller because it would be the RC Pro. It'd be tight. And putting batteries, that's where the problem is going to be. You're going to get tight with the batteries. It might only just be, it might not be the Air 2. It might have to be just the Avata 2 and the Mavic 3. But still, that would be good because that's all I need with me, you know?
You could probably, like I said, if you did it as 2 shelves kind of thing, you could probably do the 3 drones on the top and then the remotes,
Yeah, maybe.
and the batteries underneath.
Yeah, it's deep enough. It might be able to do that. Yeah, you put the drones on the top and the batteries and the controls and everything underneath. Might work. Yeah, I think that would.
Just make
I think that will work.
a plastic tray that drops down inside with a couple of rope handles to take it out with or something.
Yeah, cause then I could do the 1, 2, 3. And then you should take that out, put it to the side, and all your stuff's in the bottom. Yeah, that would work. But what I like about this the
If
most
it
is the
hasn't
fact that
already got, if it hasn't already got a ledge for putting like an extra tray in, then you can always 3D print something.
yeah. Yeah, this is what I like about it the most. Take this right here. Hasn't been picked up in a long time. Oh, and you just roll it, you know?
Mm.
I just It's a nice case. I used to have my son carry that around when I was going to football games. He'd be rolling it or carrying it from the stadium back to the car. And somebody asked him one time, "What's that?" He said, "That's my car." Because how much money it cost. That was when it was about $12,000 worth of cameras in the case. Yeah, I keep saying I'm going to do that.
Well, I'm sure the case manufacturer, whoever you're gonna use, if you gave them a call, they could give you some hints and point you in the right direction, you know?
Right.
Because that's what they live for.
Hmm.
Okay, the name of the company is My Case Builder.
They really thought hard about that, didn't they?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the company. Custom size foam. Yeah, that's it.
With .com after it.
Yeah, they got custom made, custom size, and they got pre-made designs. They got one that says drone cases. Ooh.
Well, that's what I say. Maybe you're not the first guy to ask that, and they already have one that's customized for exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, they got some. They got some already customized in here. See what they got.
Yeah, but it depends on the size of the case as well, doesn't it?
What's up,
If
Dan?
it's not, if it's not
Well,
going to fit your case, it's no
He's
good.
not. You're looking to buy the whole thing included in the case.
What's up,
right?
Dusty?
No, he's
Yeah, I
got
don't
the
want.
case.
I don't want the case. I just want the foam.
He's just showing you the case he wants to put it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want the foam to put it the way I want it. Yeah, here it is. Create your own design. Start designing. Yeah, I'd have to get to see it, ask you what kind of case is it for. I don't know the brand name on this because it doesn't have one, but it's the same size of a Pelican.
Hello, Dan.
Hi, Dan. Dusty. Jonathan.
Justin, you look like you're getting sleep in your eyes.
Hey, Dusty.
No, I had something in my eye. Feel like I have something in my eye.
Well, I got to move these Tim Hortons. I've already gone through half of them. Let me put these away from me.
Yeah, $156.62 for the phone. Praise price, huh?
Uh,
So Justin, you only have the one drone left,
Yeah, I don't have any more left.
the Tello.
Yeah, just a Tele. I mean, at some point I might decide to get a, if I have the extra money, maybe get one at some point. But the way I was looking at it though, too, when I sold them was the two I had were getting a little old and I wasn't flying, so I figured I'd sell them while I could,
Yeah.
you know, where they weren't worth anything.
Be back in a few minutes, guys.
Okay, Lance.
But yeah, I'm not like completely not about flying drones again. I'd do it again if I had extra money to get another one.
Hello, Daryl.
I'd actually like to get a little FPV to play around with, to be honest with you.
Well, right now, if you, I know money's tight because it is everywhere for everybody. Right now, you can probably buy a Nevada pretty cheap.
I definitely can't afford a Nevada.
I just typed in, it said library up there. So I said, let me go look at the library and see what it said. I typed in Mavic 3 and it comes out with the design.
There you go.
Duh. You know?
so can you drag and drop designs onto your own design?
Yeah, you say add design and it says, okay. Yep.
Type in Avata 2, see if they've got it in yet.
Yeah, well, look at that. They probably don't. RC Pro controller.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
So you need Avata 2, goggles 3, motion controller 3.
What's up, Daryl? How's it
Yeah, I
going,
might
man?
not be able to do it. Looks like it's going to be, if they got the shape, but I don't know if it's going to let me do a change in orientation.
Oh, after eating all those donuts, here comes my Meals on Wheels.
You
Let's see what we got today.
ate all 4 of them? I didn't see him eat 4.
No, he didn't eat all of them.
Ate a couple of them.
Yeah, he usually will eat a couple at a time.
my problem would be that I would eat it, and then the last bite I would have to give to the dog to keep her quiet.
Well, let's see what's in the mystery bag today. It's all right. The fish patty. In other
They
words,
have the Avada, not the Avada too.
and they give me a roll to put it on.
Mm.
What the hell is that? Plum?
Hmm?
Plum crazy, I guess.
No.
I don't think they get a lot of thought into these meals, but then again, I'm not paying for them either.
It needs some tartar sauce,
It's got it on the top.
bit of lettuce, slice of tomato. I'm not sure that a pickle would go well with a fish one. Mm. You know when he says he goes to feed the waste disposal unit, and then the other day he said he hasn't got a macerator on the waste disposal unit. Doesn't that just make it a drain?
All right. Mark, what are you eating? Some good vegetables in there for you, Paul. Butter, a little salt, good to go.
Mhm.
Dan wants to know what you're munching on, Mark.
It's like a strawberry licorice tube with a soft white candy inside it. They're about 8 inches long and about 3/8 of an inch diameter. You know, one of them things that I'm not supposed to really eat as a diabetic, but
Yeah.
God, Paul's going to town on that fucking food. You wouldn't have thought he just ate 2 Boston creams.
Correction, I
Like-
ate 3 of them.
Okay, you're not helping your case there, buddy. What did they bring you today?
A fish patty, some potatoes, and vegetables that'll go in the trash.
Oh, you need to keep some buns around and you can make some fish sandwiches whenever you get the fish patties.
he's got a bun. Came with it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, make a nice little fish sandwich, tartar sauce. Delicious.
And it came with tartar sauce too, he said.
Yep. Nice little sandwich there.
I mean, yeah, if it's a burger kind of thing, then we wouldn't butter the bun. But if it was a sandwich, we would butter the bun. Well, is the fish pate just fish, or is it mixed with like mashed potato?
No, just fish.
Because if it was mashed up and mixed with mashed potato and then put in the breadcrumbs, that would be what we call a fish cake.
So the bottom line is I'd have to have 2 levels because all I could fit in the top level is the Avata 2, the Mavic 3, and the controller. That's all it would fit in the top level.
Would it not fit the Air 2S in
No, it's not gonna work.
without the remote controller? I mean, put the remote controller in the bottom.
Well, the remote controller would be the same one I have. But I mean, you'd have to, you have to, I'll take a picture of it and show you.
They'll be at the Salt Dog 113 over.
Yeah, no, you're just going to use one remote controller, but could that not go underneath rather than on top?
Yeah, maybe.
Will it not fit the 3 drones on the top?
Yeah, the 3 drones on the top would work if I could get the stuff in the bottom, yeah. But that would be cool if I can do this. Now I know how to do it. I have to play with it.
Well, the hardest part is you're trying to fit it in an already existing case
Yeah,
because a designer would put together what you want, then they would design the case to fit all of that stuff.
yeah.
Mm.
Let me see. It does say split shape, split.
Kind of reverse engineering.
Yeah, what I gotta do is I gotta ask them, is there any way to make 2 levels? Cause I don't see anything it tells me. Cause it's
So,
in the
Frank, how's it going,
3D,
man?
the 3D image shows that you can do 2 levels,
Yeah.
but how do you split it?
Oh, you need to create some form of shelf, don't you,
Yeah,
within the case? So, like some 3D brackets. and a sheet of plastic, something like that.
Yeah, because you could design your depth too in there, right? So it was
Yeah.
2.5 inches with the top level. I dropped it down to 2.5 inches because it'll still be with the foam on top. It should still be good. I'll look at to
Yeah.
see what the measurement is on the other one.
Well, measure how tall your Mavic 3 is, because that's the thickest drone
Yeah, like I said, I'll
out of the
look
three
at
of them.
the depth in my Mavic 3 case, see what that depth is, and that should be good because it's the same top.
Yeah.
I just gotta find out how to split this thing in half. Gotta be a way.
In fact, if you could find something like a planting tray that would just fit the inside dimensions of the case so that it would drop down to a certain level,
Oh,
that would be better.
yes,
Then you could just lift the whole tray out with the top level of foam
Yes.
on.
I hate to disturb, but I was trying to track down a drone that was formerly registered. It looks like you canceled the registration as soon as you sold it.
what was it?
It was a Mavic 2 Enterprise.
Oh, yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, I sold it.
Do you remember who you sold it to and when?
No, not really.
Was it over 2 years ago?
Yes.
That's really all I asked for.
Okay, all right.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
These people are good. Fast.
Yeah, you got air to us and here to all the shapes of it.
That was a strange call, Paul.
Yeah, it was. It was a direct call from somebody said he was with the FAA. You want to know about a drone that used to be registered to me 2 years ago. And he wanted to know who I sold it to, so that makes me believe that there's somebody around,
Somebody's
either
done
they were
this.
flying a drone incorrectly and it was originally registered to me, but it was unregistered by me. And he wanted to know if I knew who I sold it to. Well, that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, obviously the remote ID has flagged it up as doing something wrong.
Yeah. The sad part of it is when you
didn't
go
sell
look
it.
at my FAA registrations, I've got 16 or 20 drones that I've owned at one point or another, and then deregistered them, took them
Yeah.
off.
You didn't sell it, Mikey, did you?
So no. That's one of the interesting things I find online is people are selling drones and they say it was registered in somebody else's name and they don't know how to unregister it. It says, well, that's because the owner's got to unregister it, not you.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the same when it's on if it's attached to a DJI account, getting it unattached from that account and put in your account is really hard work if the person who its account is attached to it hasn't done it and you can't get in touch with them. Apparently you can get in touch with DJI and give them the serial number and they will tell you who the account or what the account holder's email address is so that you can contact them. but it doesn't necessarily mean to say they'll actually do anything about it. You would have thought that DJI would have built in the ability to take it off an account by themselves. not not for the individual to be able to do it, but for DJI to be able to do it for circumstances like that.
I'm gonna screen share this just to show you what I'm talking about. Cause you know, he asked me like, do you remember? I've had 23 different drones registered.
Yeah,
Which one did he say it was?
It
the
was
enterprise.
an enterprise.
Was well, which one do you know?
Let me go look at them. Man,
And he didn't tell you the exact.
There's the DJI Zoom. There's an enterprise there. Canceled.
Well, if it
Canceled
was,
in
if it was,
2022.
yeah, if it was an enterprise drone, you wouldn't expect people to have been doing anything daft with one of them, would you?
Well, reason why they're calling Paul to find out who he sold it to is because they probably didn't register it, but it's coming up on the remote
And
ID.
they're just flying it. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, possibly.
and I guarantee that's what it is. They're trying to figure out who he sold it to because they were trying to get a hold of him.
You know what that's telling me, right? They're telling me somebody's enforcing something.
Mm,
Oh yeah, 100%. But if they're calling Paul to find out, it's because that person didn't register. There'd be no reason to call Paul unless they didn't register it.
Yeah.
They can see it flying, they can see it doing shit it's not supposed to, but they don't know who owns it.
Yep, that's right. Exactly.
mm.
The only way they'd really be able to find that out is if Paul knew which platform he sold it on and still had a record of it. That'd be the only way that they'd get that information. Unless they actually catch the person.
Yeah.
But if they take off from their house, they're going to end up catching them at some point because it's going to give a location. So hopefully they don't take off from anywhere that they live at.
Mm.
But we all know people start up their drones at least once or twice at their house. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
the minute that thing fires up in a residential area, oh yeah, they'll end up being able to trace it.
But which enterprise would that have been 2 years ago?
And that's the thing is like it really, yeah, you would think that being an enterprise, somebody wouldn't be doing something stupid with it, but it could have been just somebody that had a lot of money that just doesn't give a shit.
Mm.
Because we all know enterprise drones ain't cheap.
Nope.
You're talking minimum, what, $4,000 to $6,000 for just
Mavic
some
2
of them.
Enterprise.
Mavic 2 Enterprise, right?
How much one of those cost? At least 3-4 grand?
3,800, I think.
Yeah. That's somebody that's got extra money to blow.
Well, we all know there are people like that in the world. That money has no meaning to them.
But most people that buy something like that would be buying it to use as part of their business, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some people out there that haven't bought an M30T just because of the size of it and had the money to, just to fly it, not even using it for professional, just flying it just to fly it. Just like the Inspires, a lot of people go out and buy Inspires and don't do professional work.
Yeah, well, I mean, Max has got an Inspire, hasn't he?
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
He just does that for fun. Yeah.
There's a whole group of guys when I first came into the drone community. There was actually a whole club that was up in New York, and all they flew was Inspires. And it was just a club of guys that, and that's what made me want to get an Inspire originally.
Mm-hmm. Well, think of it. Where the hell is Max? Not seen him for weeks.
Aren't they on some like long ass like road trip or something? For like 3 months or something?
Not yet. Not yet.
No, because Tammy did a live stream on Thursday.
I don't know. Don't know.
Max doesn't even appear in Tammy's chat now.
When I was hanging out over there, he never was hardly in her chat at all. Anyway,
Mm.
he didn't really do a whole lot on her channel. He just kind of let her do her own thing.
Yeah. Oh, at first he was with her on screen.
Yeah,
Then it got to the point where she was just there on her own.
I don't know.
What's up, Don?
Kids?
What's up, Donald?
Hey, Don.
Oh, just sitting here at my desk trying to make a living.
Livin.
Oh, dog wants to go out now. Excited that it's necessary.
I had a client, been doing some pre-production work for him for the airport, and it fell through yesterday because turns out they were under the assumption that I was going to produce the commercial for them for free.
Who was it?
The local airport.
Uh,
And it's like, what? Well, the broadcast guys, they came out and they did it for free. Yeah,
well, you can't
you're purchasing
just
airtime on broadcast. I don't have a television station, so okay.
How would you just assume that though? Like it's like you think that they would have asked you that at the very beginning if that was what they were expecting. You know?
Oh, they've been told it was going to be around this much, but we don't know until we figure out the script. I can't really give a quote until we find out what we're going to be doing. And I wrote a very inexpensive script to shoot. In fact, I shot down a couple ideas that were going to be way too complicated and I knew would be outside of budget. Turns out everything was outside of budget.
Everything. You showing up was out of budget.
Did you end up going over there?
No. But I did put in time writing scripts and doing pre-production stuff. It's like
Yeah, frustrating.
that's okay.
Well, maybe they'll
That
end up
dropped
getting
and
back up with you.
I got a couple productions tossed on my plate from the RV agency that I deal with. So that'll be good.
Like I could understand like a nonprofit expecting you to do a free commercial like when you showed up.
Oh
but,
yeah,
like,
nonprofits
yeah,
nonprofits and churches are horrible, but no, I've got a shoot scheduled
right.
this week for a nonprofit that
I mean,
yeah.
that's a business. You think
Yeah,
they
it's
would've-
it's really nice me just going out there and shooting and editing a commercial out of the goodness of my heart. Yeah. No,
You're such a
I
nice
have a
guy.
I have a nonprofit that I'm going to be shooting for this week, and they're perfectly okay with paying the cost because it's like they understand.
They build it into
Right,
their
you're not a-
profit.
And
right, you're not a nonprofit. They are.
right, and that's the thing. Working for the cable company, I did a lot of cheap or free commercials over the years because we would get money back I got paid the same regardless, and we got paid on the back end. We had a commercial in hand, and we would run it, and we get a cut of that buy of whatever's run. And that was when I worked at cable, and that's how they made their money. Well, I don't have a. I really should start getting into the agency side of stuff of actually running OTT ads and stuff like that. Because if I was taking 15% of a ad buy, that was several $1,000s, I might do a free production or a heavily discounted production.
Like I said, I'd expect a nonprofit to expect you to do something for free if you were just showing up like that, but not an actual business. Like, come on now.
Non-profit organizations make a profit. They have to. They don't.
Right.
They have to make sure that all of that profit is spent on the organization, but they still make a profit.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I said, nonprofits I usually don't have an issue with. Government, which would be the airport, it's local city involvement.
Yeah, you should have told them, you knock off some property taxes and I might do it.
Oh yeah. The other one, churches. Churches get rough because you might agree on whatever, but they'd really like you to donate that for the good of them.
Yeah, but a lot of churches nowadays are just commercial enterprises, aren't they? They're not actually religion.
But that's okay. I picked up a couple other productions. I have a $400 thing that's scheduled for penciled in for next week, but I haven't heard back from that guy. And I'm going to talk to a person later on today that there's a recurring production that might need to be done, plus a
$400 does not sound like a large amount.
It's not.
I don't take it that's not going to take very long then.
It's not a lot. But around here, it's smaller businesses, and that $400 is hard to get out of them.
Yeah, okay.
To them, it's a lot of money on their margin.
Yeah.
Well, what's the premise of the advertising that you were supposed to do for them?
For what, the airport?
Yeah.
I was going to show up and shoot for half a day and produce basically for getting people to fly local. Because a lot of people will just go up to Kansas City or Tulsa.
So they must
fly
have
out of a larger
commuter service out of there?
They connect from this local airport to Denver and Chicago. Those are the only direct flights that they have. But from there, you hop on. Those are hubs, and you can go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, my question being is, who's doing the flying? It isn't the city.
Oh no, that would be United, I believe.
Okay. So why isn't United contracting with you to promote their business?
Because United doesn't have to. It would be the local airport that is United. Their 2 flights a day out of Joplin isn't going to warrant contacting somebody to produce a commercial.
Yeah, but it is. Because nobody's going to call the airport and say, "Hey, can I fly to so-so?" No. They're gonna the advertisement is going to specialize. If you want to fly and don't want to drive, fly United, and we have United right here on the ground.
Yep. But nope.
And did you contact United?
Did I contact United? No, they like I said, this is nothing. This is like 2 flights a day.
Well, my only suggestion,
They
Don,
don't care about that.
is to pluck whatever you can pluck. Contact the advertising department at United and say, hey, listen, I was contacted by this local airport to do a promotion for your flights out of Joplin. What do you guys want to bring to the table?
See, at this point, Paul, that would be me chasing money that is not there.
I don't know.
I got to move on. I got productions that are actually bringing in money today that I can work on.
United's got the
Let me
money
help
to
you
pay.
out, Don, on explaining this. Airports are ran by whatever local authority they fall under, not by the airlines. The airlines are contractors who pay a fee to use that airport.
Mm-hmm.
When any commercials regarding use XYZ airport is usually advertising like a public service announcement for the airport itself. Don wasn't doing a commercial for United. He was doing a commercial for the airport itself.
I got this here. Okay, Paul. The more flights, the more traffic that the airport can generate out of their airport, the more
More
attractive
fees.
they become to other airlines, to other
Right.
flight, to bring in more of that business. And it's not just the airlines coming in, it's the airlines coming in and fueling up. It's the airlines coming in and using whatever other services that are offered by the airport.
I get where you're going, but it sounds like an awful. Tough
The
market.
airport was not selling seats on an airplane. That was not the goal.
No,
Yeah.
but what they're selling is access.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They're advertising access for trying to, like Don was saying, bring in other airlines, commercial or cargo, to use their facility.
Yeah, their goal was to get the public to use their airport instead of driving over to Tulsa or up to Kansas City, and that way, if they could increase their foot traffic through their airport, they become more attractive to other airlines. And so, why would United pay for that?
Because right now United has the market. Well, here's my question. How many seats are they filling on each one of these 2 flights? Is
I
it
don't
2
know.
or 3 people?
I have no idea. Probably. It's probably a
Minimal.
yeah. It's probably a low number of seats going out.
So who would benefit most by increasing the number of passengers on each flight?
Probably the
Well,
airport,
It isn't
because
the airport. No,
yeah, it is.
It's United by selling
'cause-
tickets.
no,
the
'cause-
airport doesn't sell the tickets.
It wouldn't be United benefiting, because if they weren't going through this airport, like I said, Tulsa is an hour down the road. It's a bit of a drive to go down there.
You see what I'm trying to point out, Dre, is that the end result, the buck goes to United. It doesn't go to the airport.
Yeah. Well,
It goes to
I
both.
understand where you're going, Paul. Like, just like out here, we have LAX as the big airport. Close by me, we have Ontario, California as an airport. Now, Ontario was a separate entity for a long time, and then during the late '90s, early 2000s, LAX Authority took over Ontario, and they basically tried to kill it off. They were diverting flights from Ontario to go to LAX because they wanted more traffic into LAX because
What's
they
up,
get
Al?
fees from the airlines.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, Ontario just about died. The local city wrangled it back from the LAX Authority, took back control of the airport, and now it's thriving again because
Yeah.
now they're the ones directly contracting with the airlines themselves. Now, what Don is saying, when you advertise the airport
Fuck's sake.
and its facilities, all the maintenance, TSA support, all these different things benefit by them having or knowing more airlines are coming in, more cargo, because we have a large UPS hub that works out of that airport also,
Mm-hmm.
that brings in everything to the region for UPS, FedEx, all that kind of stuff, use that same airport to bring in stuff to this area. So there's a lot of different things that the airport needs to advertise itself to be a hub for all these different entities that need it. Like I said, the next airport close to where I'm at will be all the way in Palm Springs, which is about an hour away. Ontario is 20 minutes. It is the best thing in Delhi. You can pull up to the curb, drop somebody off still, pick somebody off right off the curb. Instead of going to LAX where you can't even get in, you have to park outside the airport. Somebody who's you meeting has to meet you outside the airport to meet you. You can't even get up to a curb in LAX.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people use John Wayne Airport, Bob Hope Airport, different other places. Because
get your short ferry over.
Atlanta, which is the busiest airport on the planet, is still Atlanta. You can't pull up to the curb and drop somebody off and pick somebody up. You got to park your vehicle somewhere because guess what? They get that parking fee money for the airport. So they disallow anybody getting dropped off or picked up right off the curb. Those are all fees you pay when you go to these larger airports to generate funds to pay for the facility.
Oh yeah, go up to Tulsa. Parking is. You want somebody to just drive you by and kick you out.
Yeah.
What's up, TJ?
As I was saying, you better be out there because I ain't come around twice.
Uh-huh.
DJ.
Up at Tulsa, they got that loop, and the loop goes around the big central parking area.
Mm-hmm.
And so, go past the gates, and it's like, when I dropped my son off to go up to Canada, it's like, I had time to slow down. You got your stuff, get out. Because I had people backed up behind me.
Yeah. So, like I said, when the local airport authority wants you to advertise, like I said, you'll see advertisements for our airport, Ontario, wanting you to book your whatever airline you're going to use, book your flight to go into Ontario Airport here in Southern California.
Because the more traffic they get going through also, and that's why LAX is probably trying to reroute flights, is because the larger the airport, the more leverage they have against the airlines and can get better rates. And even though Ontario fell under LAX for a short time, diverting that traffic, that might have meant, extra couple $1,000s on that flight. And they just, because they negotiated better deals through the larger airport.
Right. Yep.
And it makes monetary sense from their point, but that cannibalizes that smaller airport.
Yeah. And that's what it just about did, just about killed it all. I remember the days when you had sky caps out front, pull up to the curb, sky cap, meet you there, grab your bags for you. You didn't have to do nothing. You walked inside and just pretty much, if you had your ticket already, you walk right to the gate.
I think they should do that, bring that back. Those TSA agents, they're already going to be handling your luggage anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a little hat, a little uniform, have them go out there. Can I take your bags? They take it over, they scan it through into the airport, and you're through security as you walk through those doors. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that was like a nice little first entry job for a lot of people, just like out where I grew up out here, we had the military bases. So a lot of young kids like myself worked at the commissary. You didn't get no hourly wage. You worked off tips. And the sky caps were pretty much the same way. They all worked off tips, the sky caps, because they didn't work for any airline per se. They worked for the airport. And tips is what they made their money off of. What's up, Dan? Yeah, so it's kind of sad that they anticipated or expect you to give away your services like that. I mean, that's my thing is
I guarantee what they thought.
That even you got a logo at the end of it, you know what I'm saying? That you made this commercial.
I wouldn't do that even with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking is, like you said, there's a lot of ways to get stuff in the back end.
Well, what they expected, because I used to work for the cable company, and so I'm still kind of closely related to some of those salespeople. I think that's what they thought is, they'll get money on the back end just like the broadcast did.
Right.
And it's like, yep, I'm a separate entity. That don't work.
Yeah, I mean, if like I said, if you're doing okay with your other accounts, you can negotiate something on the back end. Like I say, if you'd have got like, whatever we call credit, a credit
Hey,
on the commercial.
you know what? Tell you what, I'm going to do this ad for you for free. I'm going to give you a couple ads for free, and
Mhm.
in exchange for that, we'll do a trade. We'll, give me a ticket.
Yeah, free flights.
You know,
Yeah. I mean, there's different ways to catch something in the back end that could work out for you and stuff. I mean, but I'm saying you just can't absolutely give your time and
No.
services and everything else away for free. You'll end
No,
up going
and
out of business.
and that's the thing. Doing pre-production usually is a non-paid for,
Right.
and so
Just
it's
like I
like,
did pre-production, a lot of folks may not get, just like doing a pre-checklist when you fly a drone. You go out there, you scout the site, you look at what be your best angles, you
Mhm.
done all this stuff, which is time
Uh-huh.
consuming.
they want to pay for the
just-
time the drone. You're not flying the drone right now. Why am I paying for this? It's like you're paying
Right.
for the time I spent back at the house,
Yep.
making sure, checking airspace,
Yep.
checking to see if we had any NOTAMs in the area.
Mhm.
You're paying for that time.
Yep. And that's why I tell people, I said, when you get into commercial work, that's why I say you want to be as efficient as possible,
Mhm.
because all they want to do is pay for your time in the air. So you got to make sure you knock out everything else you need to do in the most expeditious time. So when you go out there and fly, you're doing that flight time, just boom, 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 in and
Yeah.
out, because now you're cutting to your profit.
Well, I'm trying to train
Yeah.
or get some people out of the idea of you're paying for my hours,
Hmm.
because you're not paying for my hours. If I was bad at my job and it took me twice as long, should you pay me twice as much? No.
Right.
Therefore, you're not paying for my hours. You're paying for my skills.
Yeah.
You're
thought
paying
that's
for
the
an
way
end
it worked.
product.
Hmm.
But you always pay people twice as much.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'll do that this morning, work on those spots I have coming in, and then hit the Indeed job feed this afternoon and see what's available.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
do
and
any
a lot of folks say,
advertising
was
for?
this guy-
Restaurant cook,
I
restaurant
said,
cook.
people understand when you hire somebody else to do a lot of your footwork, now you gotta pay them and stuff, unless they want to, like some young intern that wants to get experience, do it for free and stuff.
Yeah.
Then you still got to worry about covering them for insurance purposes.
Hmm. Oh, I wouldn't. I would probably never hire somebody. That just seems like too much of a.
Hey, Donald, do you have any attorneys as clients?
At this moment, no. I have done productions for attorneys in the past.
Because up here, every other commercial seems to be attorney. If you got a truck accident, we'll get you paid.
Oh yeah, they sponsor whole shows now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their big thing is how they make deals with out here in California. Like, say you got a guy who's the personal attorney for the Los Angeles Lakers, or this guy's the personal attorney for the Dodgers or
Yeah.
for the Angels, and all this kind
So
of stuff.
So it's going to cost you a fortune if you hired him. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but
they advertise, Mark. They advertise, you don't pay us a dime unless we win.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And then you
And-
pay 40% of what you get.
or more.
Yeah, if not, more. Because I said their biggest thing is they're only going. The kicker is they're only going to take slam dunk cases. Well, they know they're going to win. They're not going to do anything hard that's going to take too much time to invest in.
Yeah.
They want the slam dunk deals, and that's why I say, well, we have a 90-something% successful rate.
Oh, yeah. All the compensation lawyers over here
Yeah,
charge up. Oh,
Yeah.
advertise. No win, no fee.
yeah. So as I was
But they
getting to, these guys
they
make
never
have these
mention
deals
what
with these professional teams.
Yeah.
They're not representing any of the players per se. They represent the brand. And basically, their only job is to make sure nobody is illegally using the brand.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen somebody's like, yeah, on YouTube using the Laker logo or the Dodger logo, or that's the only cases they handle. You know, they're not representing no players. They're not representing the actual owners. You know, they're there to protect the brand.
Mm. Yeah, they never actually mention in their adverts what the percentage
No,
is
they never do.
as a
They never
fee.
do.
Yeah.
That's to get you in the door and sit you down and says, okay, now we got you here. You know, this is our
Might be
compensation
a
package.
sturgeon.
And it's probably about this thick, so you're not going to read every page because you're not going to go through that thick amount of paperwork to read it. And because by the time you're there, you're like anything else. You're there out of pain, injury, suffering, loss. So all you want to do is get this done. So you're ready to agree about anything they throw in front of you.
I know. My first question would what percentage do you take as your fee?
And no, they tell you back. They probably say, "Well, you shouldn't worry about that. You should worry about what we can get for you."
Well, that's it then. In that case, if I don't need to worry about it, bye bye. I'll go and find somebody who will.
Yeah.
Hey, Dre, you know
Yeah.
how much the guy wants for the Marine Corps case?
How much?
Oh, he's getting it, you know, because it's not gonna matter because I want the 60. I want the 60%. He's getting 40.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it right there. You know, go if Joe went out and tried to get another attorney, another private attorney.
Oh, well, look at this. There's a job opening right now for a morning show host
Radio, TV.
on radio, talk radio, morning show host. Let's see here.
You got to send
Bet
that
you
to
I gotta
Ken
be
Ham.
there at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you gotta be Ken Herron.
Yeah, I said send that to Ken Herring. Evidently, he's not getting paid.
It might be
where
his.
he's at.
Evidently, he's what?
Not getting paid enough where he's at, so he won't be on there
He's,
pushing the
he's
super chat
starting his
train.
own. Ken Herron's starting his own up, isn't he?
Starting his own what?
Radio.
Is he?
Mm.
Wow.
I haven't watched Ken for a while.
Kenneth just came over. He's been down fishing on the river down under the bridge, and he hooked a sturgeon. And I don't know if any of you know what a sturgeon is.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
it's huge, and he got it almost up, and he had two guys trying to help him land it, and it just bent the hook and took off.
Mm.
A sturgeon is what you get caviar from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's got the head like a crocodile, long snout.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah.
is it legal there?
Yeah, sturgeon. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'm
here,
just
if you
thinking,
catch one, you
Don,
gotta
that-
put it back.
Unless you're part of the major affiliates in the country, you're small potatoes, man. Unless you're on iHeartRadio or
Yep.
somebody else, you're not getting paid any money.
Nope.
Yeah, isn't radio kind of dead to a certain extent?
What's that, Justin? I can hear you.
I
Actually,
said, isn't
around here,
radio
it's
a
not.
little dead?
Around here,
Okay.
our local talk radio station gets a lot of listeners. It's on a lot of places all day long.
Yeah, I say talk radio it's evolved over the years, especially when satellite radio came out. It was forced to evolve. They actually go into a lot more, I guess, Darwin. I guess they call it a business market where you go in a certain, like you go into a dentist's office or a doctor's office and you hear this music or whatever it is. They contract out their station or signal to actual companies and so forth. The regular over the air stuff with 10 million commercials and everything, that's almost a dying breed unless you're on a affiliate brand like iHeartRadio.
Well, they've opened it up now to where you can do local targeting on a lot of these iHeartRadio. In fact, the local cable station or cable company that I used to work for had just started that whenever they can me,
Mhm.
and they will take and put your audio commercial on iHeartRadio and a couple of the others. And so iHeartRadio is decide, these big fishes, few and far between, but we can take that same, just like the old model broadcast, we can go ahead and let these local ads run, since we can geo-target different areas. And so you open up these smaller areas and get that local cut too.
Mm. Radio's still quite big over here. But then again, we have the BBC services as well as the BBC television services, and they don't have adverts because their money comes from the television license.
BB. Daryl, I'm funny how? How am I funny? Like a clown, I'm funny?
Joe's got a clown nose over there. Maybe let you borrow it.
Oh, I got a clown nose around here somewhere too. Where is my
There it
clown
is.
nose?
There's Joe's.
From Red Nose Day, I take it.
Yeah, I've got mine from Red Nose Day a couple of years ago. I didn't get one last year. I have no idea where it's at. It's probably in the
I got
closet
mine. I
there.
grew up with mine, so
Joe said he grew up with his red nose.
Yeah, some of us have to drink to get ours. Yeah.
yeah, I know a bunch of people that grew up with brown nose.
And they kept him right until today, right?
Yes, sir.
W.C. Fields drank to get his clown nose.
Yep.
You know,
What was
that's
it?
where Gin Blossoms got their name, the band Gin Blossoms.
He used to call everybody my little chickadee.
Yeah, my little chickadee. Yeah. He was a juggler. He was a pretty damn good juggler, too. In fact, I think a couple of his movies, he still did a little bit of tossing. And I think there's a video of him doing a cigar box routine. But that's what he started out doing on vaudeville.
Mm-hmm.
But the band Gin Blossoms, the 90s band, they got their name from, they had seen a picture of W.C. Fields and Gin Blossoms, and the Gin Blossoms were the busted veins in his cheeks from drinking too much. And that's what they used to call them, is Gin Blossoms.
Mm.
Just a little bit of trivia that you didn't ask for, but I'll give you
Throw
anyway.
in for free. Yeah.
You know.
Is Jim Neighbors still alive or is he dead?
Jim Neighbors
He
died.
did. He did.
Yep.
So here you go.
He's the one that did Gomer Pyle, right? Golly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Golly.
So there's the top of the case, Air 2S, Avada, and Mavic 3. I could do it like that. And if I could split the case, the back half, that would be the bottom part. You'd have 3 Mavic 3 batteries. It'd have the Avada 3 batteries. It'd have the case for the charger, the motion controller, RC Pro, the plug, and an extra little slot.
Nice.
So now I got to
Filters?
find out if the company can split it and put a top and a bottom.
Don't forget slots for the filters.
I got a couple of extra little holes at the bottom.
Yep. Room for your filters, room for your SD card case, and yep.
Yeah.
Room
Yeah,
for your
so-
marker and your slate and your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they could split it, I may think about getting it. I've got a Pelican 510 style case with the rolling and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can get the case made to put 3 of them in there, so if I go to the South Florida, I could take the one case and have all my drones in it. Or if I want to just take those drones out, I could take those drones out.
Can't do that, Joe. Then everybody get a bit mad. You're talking about, what about the portability?
It's on wheels.
It rolls.
No,
I've
I
got-
was saying how everybody ran away from the Phantom 4 Pro because they said it was too bulky, too big to carry around, all this kind of stuff. Now he's talking about creating a case on wheels for 3 drones. And I
It's
said,
not that
"Y'all don't
big.
get mad because it's not portable. They can't put it in their front pocket and walk around and pull it out and throw it in the air.
It's not that big.
It's not that big a case.
Like I said, I
Now-
have a couple of roll cases, and like I say, they take up their share of room.
Uh-huh. That's
you
why I
can't
like
say
the
it's-
Pelican
it's-
1510 is a checkable case, and that's why I like it.
Yeah.
But I've got a bigger one it's a Jason case, which they're a little cheaper, I think, than Pelican because they were, at least at the time they were, but just as good. Waterproof, solid.
Now, I'm just giving you a hard time, Joe, because that
Oh,
was
I
always
know.
the big argument back in the day when the folding drones came out. Everybody talking about, oh, this is the best thing. I can put this in my pocket. I
Yeah.
can throw this, in my camera bag and this and that. And all I hear people talk about now is how they get a hard case for
Yeah.
a mini drone.
That's what he's doing. He's putting it in
yeah.
his camera bag. The Pelican was his camera bag.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I just shake my head. I said, wait a minute. You guys didn't want these hard cases because they're too big, too bulky, and they don't pack well. You can't squish them in corners because they're hard.
Yeah.
So now you guys
Yeah.
all running down there buying these GPCs and Pelicans and going
Yeah.
down to Harbor Freight and tearing the foam out and everything else to have a case for your mini fold-up drone.
Yep.
Well, Dre, number one, I'd rather have a hard case to protect everything just because it's going to last a lot longer. And number two, I don't let sergeants bother me.
Now, Joe, what's the company you're looking at that's doing the foam?
MyCaseBuilder.com.
Because I work out of these cases, and I've got, like I said, a larger one in there that is a pick and pack that I haven't even touched because it's a pick and pack, and I hate pick and pack. But
Oh shit! I don't have any Mavic 3 batteries built into it.
When you say pick and pack, you mean
Oops.
there's no
Plug, pick and plug,
compartments.
yeah.
You just throw everything in it.
no, it's a bunch of cubes. It's foam that's sliced
Yeah,
into cubes
you
that you pull out
customize
the
it for whatever
cubes
you want.
All
in the
right,
shape
yeah, I
that you
know what
want
mean.
and set down in.
Yeah.
And it
They're
doesn't-
horrible.
They're
Yeah.
horrible because it fits really good for the first couple days, but if you're
Yeah.
using it at any regularity, it starts falling apart on you.
Right. It
Yeah.
loses its rigidity. It gets a little floppy
Uh-huh.
here and there. And
So the part that makes it easy to shape and stuff, being able to pull it out and pick, and that's the same thing that wears out because it's a thin connection, and so suddenly you've got a division over here on this side, and then it gets weaker and weaker, and as you're using it, it just starts falling apart.
yep.
But I've got the case in there. It's like that would be a really nice case to think about moving to. But I do like this case, but it's got the padded dividers with Velcro. My 1510 that has my camera and stuff in it. But there's something to be said for having an actual dedicated foam case. Everything has its spot. Everything has its place.
Right. When you carry multiple stuff, having a case like that comes in handy. Like I say, even the ones on wheels or whatever. But that
Yeah.
way you can fool the client thinking, oh, he's got a big old drone. Look at that case he's got. And all of a sudden you pull it out, you got like 2 or 3 drones, 4 or 5 cameras and all in the same bag and everything else.
Yep.
Just change his mind now, Joe. Tell him how much the foam is.
It's custom made what they do is they make it for you based on your designs. If it doesn't work, they'll do it a second time, but it's like $156.
It's not
And
bad.
yeah, it's not bad. They cut it and they put it's the thicker foam, so it's pre-cut, so it's not gonna just fall apart on you.
Right. Yeah.
But now I gotta find a place to put 2 batteries.
Yeah, that's
And
not bad for a
if I wanna
custom
split
case.
it, I gotta lay them down.
Mm-mm.
I'm not in a hurry to do it. And I've even got an estimate on the size of the Avata. I had to measure it out myself. And they've got the Avata, but they don't have the Avata 2. They got a library of a bunch of shapes. So I just kind of added another little bit to it. And then I have to measure it out and make sure it's right. I think it is.
Although I will say, for years of use, these canvas porta brace bags for catch-all stuff. Oh my gosh, these things. If you have a bunch of catch-all stuff,
Mm-hmm.
those bags have been through hell and back.
Yeah.
I mean, those are from, I would say, mid to late 90s.
Yeah. Well, I said I need to get me a SUV first. Then I say I'd like to get it like halfway customized.
Where I used to work, I get tired of saying that. But we had a truck, F-150, a nice big truck that had the shell on the back and a pull-out
Yes, big slider tray.
slider
Yeah.
floor on it. That was just, that was great because whatever you had it packed. But you pull it back, extend your truck out
Right.
a ways, and you had a work table that you could actually open stuff up, start assembling the camera, getting things ready, staging everything, and
Mhm.
that was nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a truck, but I would prefer SUV just for the fact of having that patch that lifts up. It gives you that little bit of something. If you want to sit on the edge, you can sit there and you
Yep.
got an instant sunshade.
Yep. Or rain shade, depending.
Yeah, rain shaded, whatever the case may be. You have
Yeah,
that built into the vehicle itself. And that's like
That-
me. I also have a we call it the little pop-up tent thing. I said you can also set that along that so you extend it out.
Yep. I've done shoots sitting, crouching down, sticks down as far as they can go in the back of an SUV with the hatch up,
Yeah.
shooting out.
Yeah,
I've done a few of those.
yeah.
That
When
won't
my
quite.
wife had her Acura MDX. I did some old videos back in the day in the early 2000s
Damn it.
like that. Well, of my cars.
Jump in, Mark.
It wouldn't work my SUV. My SUV had a door that opened sideways, like a normal door, rather than one that went up.
Yeah. So I said that is something that probably the last, not the last thing I ever buy, but that'd be the last major piece that I want to purchase and stuff.
So-
Yeah, don't have to be a brand new one. I'll take a
Face.
mid 2012, 2015 Ford Escape or something like that.
What, an F-Pace?
Well, that's the dream. I like to have a F-Pace. What's it called? Is it SV? The F-Pace SV.
RS, I think.
I think it's SV. What it? Because it's 500 horsepower
Mm.
SUV. That's the dream one, Mark. That's the dream one.
Yeah.
Now, if I can find me, I think they first came out in 2019. So if I can find me a 2019 model that hasn't been driven into the ground, I would still buy it.
When somebody crashed into my Shogun, we got an F-Pace as a courtesy car.
Uh,
That was nice.
yeah, let me see if I can find the VR. I think that it's SV, I think it is. Let me look here. I got so much stuff open right now. I'm looking at a bunch of other crap. Let me see here. So the blind man.
Because I think they had the R. Is it an R and an RS or an SR, something like that?
SVR. That's what they're called. Yeah. Let me find a picture of this. I'll share it.
Has that got the British engine in it, or has it got
Yeah,
American?
it's got the British engine in it. 500 horsepower.
These will you shut up, dog? Is it the V6?
No, it's a big V8.
Is it V8?
Yeah, it's a
Because
V8.
I think they also make it so it shuts down a few cylinders when you don't need them, so
Yeah.
that it gets better fuel.
The way I drive, I always need all 8. And so. Yeah. Here you go. I don't like the color of this one, but this is what it looks like.
Mm.
That was the one we got was gold.
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that color better.
Yeah.
They're a real nice car.
Yeah. They start off about 100 grand.
I think they're a bit cheaper than that here, but
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep the blue.
Yeah.
I do it with the
The one I
silver,
see,
the white.
the one I like, I like the red. My local Jag guy has one in red sitting on the floor, showroom floor. But like I said, if I can catch a 2019 for under 30 grand, I don't
Go
care
pull
what
a trigger.
color it
Just
is.
go do it. You got the money.
Yeah, like I said, if I can catch one, like I said, because deep print. Oh man, I can't even talk anymore. The depreciation of the vehicle drops so fast on cars.
depreciation.
Like that. Yeah, depreciation of that. It just like I say, let me catch a 2019 for like right around 30 grand.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't have 400,000 miles on it or whatever.
Right. And I said, usually something like that, because the way it costs originally, you probably get one with about, I'd say, anywhere between 30 to maybe 50,000 miles on it, tops. Usually they'll have less than 20, but the dealerships got to move them because they're aging.
Right.
They're hard to find.
Mm.
So you can get a decent used one about 3 to 4 years old, maybe 5 years old, and scoop it up. But that would be the dream one, Mark, right there. But I said
Well,
I'll be happy with a little.
One thing, Dre, you can always count on us for. If you got an urge to spend some bucks, you come here, we'll help you spend it.
Yeah.
You, Dre,
Like I said,
don't
I always have a crowd of supporters behind me, huh? But not when the payment comes.
Yes, but don't forget, Dre, Bentley have brought an SUV out as well.
I don't like it. It's ugly to me. I do not like it. I've seen it, and I try to like. I'd rather try to get my hands on the Aston Martin SUV.
In fact, I think Rolls Royce have brought one out now as well.
Yeah, I don't like the Bentley one. Was it Bentayga
But,
or something like that?
The daft thing about it is that the Bentley one has just been designed after the Volkswagen Touareg.
Right, the Touareg. It's the twin of the Touareg with a few extra shiny bits on it.
Yeah, because Bentley is now Volkswagen.
Right. Yeah.
And the Rolls Royce one is based after the X5 because Rolls Royce is now BMW.
Right. Yeah. But that F-Pace SVR, I think, is the last of the V8 engines Jaguar produced.
Yeah.
But now they're going on the same.
I think the Aston Martin's on the same
as everybody else.
I think the Aston Martin's on the same shell as the F-Pace as well.
Yeah, like I said, I'd rather have the Aston Martin SUV.
Martin and Jaguar shared a lot of models.
Yeah. But like I say, the Aston Martins, I think they start off right almost at 200 grand.
Oh yeah, they'd be a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 2019 F-Pace SVR, 542 horsepower supercharged V8. And they talking about price starting from 219 right now for 79,000.
Mhm.
So it has to come down a couple more thousands for me to even really look at it.
Mm.
But I do need some type of a SUV type of vehicle. Because I mean, there's some jobs I have turned down because I just don't have the vehicle to be going off road to get to some of these locations they want you to go to, especially up the mountains or out in the desert where the road is and all you guys are trail. Or I could do like Don and just use a green screen in the background while I'm driving and make you guys think I'm going somewhere.
Yeah, that worked.
And have Doris Day in the passenger seat and we're having long conversations.
It's not. It's not worth it. I was thinking about turning around, grabbing the green screen out of the closet, and start setting it up. But it's not worth it for the joke.
Yeah, yeah.
Too much work.
Well, I mean, what gets me is, as our age, like Joe and Paul and myself and Mark, I remember watching those old movies, man. And you're thinking these folks is just tooling down the road, having these conversations, smoking cigarettes, having a great time. And then you get older, you realize how these movies get made. They were either in a studio, never go anywhere, or they were on a flatbed of a tow truck being driven around and stuff. Because you notice they never really showed the steering wheel much, and they never turned anywhere. They just kind of like, yeah.
From Donald's hair, I would have thought he was 30.
No, we didn't. We understood that they didn't turn anywhere because we were led to believe that all your roads were just a long straight line.
I mean, we have someone in the drone community that always talks about.
You just can't get on a road driving that far straight. I mean, even out here in California, you can get on a highway and do that, but not just a regular street. You do got to stop somewhere, make a left, make a right somewhere at some point. And these folks just be driving along, and they talk about the story like, oh, we just left LA and we went up to
remember the Police Squad, how they made fun of that on Police Squad?
Yeah.
Frank Drebin, he'd be here in the background, you'd see, I was just leaving Little Italy, and it would be the Roman Colosseum in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have somebody in the drone community that already talks about how great his hair is, but his is all white, and look at mine. No offense, Dre.
You get no argument from me. Get no argument from me, partner. I embrace it. I consider it a blessing that I don't have to fool around with my hair in the morning.
No kidding. And haircuts. Oh my gosh.
Yep. Amount of money I've saved in haircuts over the last.
I have suggested to my wife, let me just buzz it down. Let me just take clippers and I will just buzz it. She goes, no, you'll look like a skinhead. No. It's like, just, and I saw, back in Bruce Willis started shaving his head and it's like, okay, here's my chance. Nope. You're not Bruce Willis. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's it. Then all you need is a white t-shirt, a pair of parallel denims, and Doc Martin boots.
Doc Martin boots fit right in there, Missouri. Oh man, no, but I've been shaving my head since I was in my late 30s. So it's been almost 30 years.
Yeah, pretty much the same, because that's about when the top of my hair all disappeared.
Yeah, well, I cut mine off before it all disappeared. It was just, I noticed it was getting thin, and I said, you know what? Don't fight it.
Mine's getting thin.
And stuff. So I've been almost 30 years shaving my head.
Yep.
That's like my
That's one of the
brother.
things I hate more than anything, sitting down for a haircut because it's so much wasted time.
Yeah. What do you
Mhm.
mean? It takes me about 10 minutes to cut my hair.
Yeah, but if you go in a barber shop,
Okay.
you've got an hour sitting in the queue waiting for him to finish chatting to the person who's sat in the chair.
Joe, I would
Yeah.
be glad to cut my hair like you, but they stopped selling Flobies.
Okay.
But
Let me go
Actually,
find
Mark
it.
took me down the hill
I
there.
think my dad actually still has a Flobie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
bought one
think
of those
Mark hit the
Flobies,
nail
and
on
I
the
think he
head.
still has
It
one.
was more about the experience being in the barbershop than it was actually getting the haircut.
Yeah, it's
Conversation.
Barbershop
Yeah.
was the
Yeah.
place where everybody
Barbershop
shut the door.
conversation.
Conversation, talk about sports, politics, whatever, and everybody sit there and laugh and at each other and stuff, and then you get ripped off out of your wallet. I know when I last got a haircut, it was almost up to almost $20 and stuff.
That's
Now
all?
it's right up to about almost 40, 50 now.
My
So,
Depends on
son,
where you go, but yeah.
I get my hair cut twice a month.
$60.
Yep.
I'm lucky. My niece went through school and she does hair now. So
hmm
Well, do you remember the comedy show Desmond's?
I
Must
do
be a
not.
British name.
Set in a barber's shop.
Mm. There was a couple of them that were set in barbershops. I remember sitcoms and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
guess
it
the
was a
barbershop
sitcom.
was
Well,
decent.
you always spent some time in Floyd's barbershop on Mayberry on
That's what I'm
Andy
saying.
Griffith's
Andy
show.
Griffin
Yeah.
show had a big barbershop. There was one
Yeah,
a sitcom in the 70s called
and Floyd would oh yeah.
Who was that character?
Well, no, he was
that
a coloured
was it
barber.
Floyd? The Floyd the barber?
Floyd, I can't remember his name, the actor.
I don't remember his name, but I think his character was named Floyd or something.
Yeah, his name it was Floyd the
Oh,
barber.
he
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. But there was a sitcom in the 70s that was based around a barbershop. I want to say Mama something, but the barbershop was like right next door attached to the house or whatever it was. And they had the movies barbershop was Ice Cube and his group in the early 2000s.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like those.
Yeah. And everything.
I think it was the second one when they were having the barbecue outside and they were getting ready to go at it, boy.
Yeah.
This one was a coloured barber shop, and there was always one guy sat in there all day that they called
he's talking about Barbershop, the movie.
pork
No,
pie.
no, he's talking about Desmond's because I'm reading it up here. It was on Channel 4, and it was from it was in the late 80s, early 90s.
Channel 4 in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had one guy called Pork Pie because he used to sit around in the barber's shop all day and he wore a pork pie hat.
Oh, okay. I thought it might have been Joe Biden's what's Joe Biden's nemesis name? What's that guy's name? He called him
Corn Pop.
Corn Pop, yeah.
Yeah.
I said,
Hey, Corn Pop be there. I'd be
this
sitting in the
cannot
barber chair, they'd be
real.
rubbing on my legs.
Corn Pop. I said, I'd have broke out some milk and said, dude, we having cereal.
Corn Pop was a bad man.
So bad dude, Corn Pop.
Bad dude.
I said, dude, you could not even come tell me your nickname or whatever your family call you is Corn Pop. And I had to take you seriously. Come on.
It'd be a fight.
Corn Pop.
And Joe Biden sitting over there like a Rice Krispie.
Yeah, Joe Biden sitting over there with all the little kids rubbing on his legs, playing with the hair on his legs.
Man. Corn Pop was a bad dude. Oh man.
Lord help me. What's this country going
Every time they play that clip, because I think it's some advertisement always plays that clip. I think it's on the radio, whatever. I think it's my local talk radio plays that clip. And they talk about Swamp Watch. And they talk about Corn Pop was a bad dude. It's just hilarious.
That was
Pop
funny.
did nothing wrong.
Oh man.
Just popping along.
I'll take your
with-
word for it. I'll take your word for it. I don't know who Corn Pop was.
Corn
You're
Pop was a
lucky.
bad dude.
Yeah.
Hung around and what was it he had done? He had
I don't even
jumped
remember.
off a
This-
diving board or something that he wasn't supposed to, or
Dude, when he said the name, I was done right there.
I think he jumped off a diving board into a pool that
I
was
was done.
empty.
no, he did something wrong, and the story goes that Joe called him Esther Williams.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Uh,
I don't know. I mean, his nickname could have been Ray, Little Ray, Pookie, Junior, something. But Corn Pop, come on,
Junior,
dude.
Junior.
Dude, I've heard that. Junior,
Yeah,
Junior.
that ain't Junior. That's Junior, Junior.
That's
Little
Junior,
Junior,
Junior.
Junior's over there.
Junior.
Now, funny you should mention that, Junior, because Bubba J
Yeah.
is one of Jeff Dunham's puppets, isn't he?
Uh-huh.
He's actually called Bubba Junior because Junior is his second name. So Jeff Dunham said to him, "Well, it's a good job they didn't call you Junior then." He said, "Yeah, that would have been daft. That's my brother's name,
yeah,
Junior."
that'd have been Daryl, my other brother.
Yeah, I'm just
I'm
like
Daryl.
saying when he
My other
said
brother's Daryl.
when he said that name Corn Pop, dude, I said, I'm done. That is like I could not even walk out the house knowing people knew that they gonna call me Corn Pop.
Yeah, I'd change. If I heard that, I was ready to vote for him. I'd change my vote.
hmm That's crazy.
Oh Lord, what a country!
Yeah,
Only one of a kind.
yeah.
Well, it comes
Yeah.
from a country that's national snack is popcorn.
I thought, well, maybe at one time when everybody used to go to baseball games, but I think our national snack food now is just fast food, period.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
a point.
People say, what's your favorite snack food? Uber Eats.
Uber
Yeah.
Eats.
Yeah.
Tell you, mine's gonna be Arby's roast beefs today.
Or is
You
it?
know what, Joe, when I was a little kid, I used to always think about wanting to go to Arby's.
Yeah,
And then I can say, there wasn't one where I lived at. And then when I finally got old enough to start going to Arby's in another town over, I was so disappointed. Just disappointed, dude. I'm like, this stuff is about as bland as I don't know what. Now, Carl's Jr., which is Hardee's, hang
Oh,
on a
yeah.
second. Got somebody at my door.
yeah. Arby's has 2 for $6 roast beefs, and then it's free sandwich month. Actually, today's the last day, so if I do it on the app, I'll get a free roast beef and get the 2 for $6. I'll get 3 for $6. I'm going to get 3 roast beefs for $6 today. Get the Arby's sauce and the horseradish sauce, and spice that sucker up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Carl's Jr.
yeah. You got to
which is
put
Hardee's
horseradish
back
on
east,
what's it?
Yeah,
had
of
a sandwich called
horseradish.
a California roast beef that was delicious.
Yeah,
Back-
Carl's Jr. is good.
They had a good one there. Well, I got to get off, gentlemen. I guess my coworker next door is on a meeting with the ACLU concerning our homeless encampment people and how they should be treated. So I had to be quiet.
Hey, you need a grenade?
I'll see you guys later on.
Okay.
Okay, see you, Dre.
Thanks, Jay.
All
Yeah.
right.
All it takes is one grenade. One grenade would fix it. Scrape it up later. Like the Marine Corps says, kill them all, let God sort it out. Hurrah. Oh man. So I've designed it just kind of barely designed it, but I've got to go I got to take everything out and put it on a bid and see what I've got to put in that case, what's got to go in that case, because it's tight, but it's clean, it's tight. But I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna have to, cause I get, keep one if you keep one battery. See, actually, I got more space, cause I've only got 3 batteries for the Air 2S. One would stay in the drone, and there's only 2 spaces I need. I made 3. I'd only need 2. One battery would stay in the Mavic 3. I've got 4, so I'd probably be able to put 3 in there, so I'd have 3 batteries. And at 43 minutes, 3 is good, you know. But I'd need, like, for the Avata, you need the charging hub, so you can stick the batteries in the charging hub, make it a rectangle, and make that work. And you got 1 in the Avata. The motion control is the only thing I would need, but the Air 2S has that little charging station thing, so you gotta have that, you know. So it's gonna be measuring out some things, making some rectangles, and making sure you've got the place to put the cords and everything else. I'm not worried as much about the ND filters, because I only keep a 16 on the drones, and then I just work with the EV. That way I could take the 16 off if I needed to. I'm not gonna shoot a Eclipse with the drone where I need a gazillion one.
Mm.
I've actually found that when I'm doing a night flight with the Mavic 3, I keep the 16 on it. I make sure the EV set at 0, and then I stick it on night flight to let them do the noise. And when it doesn't wash out the whites, so the whites still come out perfect. If I take the 16 off, it kind of washes the white out a little bit.
Weird here today. It's actually warmer sitting outside than it is sitting indoors.
I don't know what they're doing in this complex, but they got something. It's either grinding something, cutting something, and it's been doing that for 2 days, and it's aggravating the hell out of them. It sounds like I don't know what they're doing. They had a memo put out. The bottom sections of all these apartments have a little patio. It's got a little edge, and the edge goes over the cement where the grass is at. And because it's like that, it's been getting wet, and it's starting to rot out. So all of the bottom apartments with the little ledges, they're cutting them, taking them off, and redoing them, and making them even with the concrete, which isn't going to make any difference because it floods on that side anyway. So it's still going to do the same thing. But that's what I'm hearing. They're cutting. That's what they're cutting. I guarantee you. My little baby girl's down here licking my hand. And she wants something, and I'm not giving it to her. And she's saying, "I'm gonna lick you and be very nice. Give me a treat."
You're my favorite. Treats are
Where's
over
the treat?
there. Treats are over there.
Oh, you ought to see them. They get in the hallway right on the other side of the doorway, and they'd be looking at each other in the face. And all of a sudden, Tino comes running like a bat out of hell, all of them. And Loki's jumping all happy, and she's sitting in the back looking, and he's up there going, ruff, like, give me a treat. Like they got him working, you know, because they know he's my favorite. They know he's like alpha, and he knows he's the one that could come in, walk at me, and get something most of the time. And they work, and then they'll walk back in, and she'll come in and do it. So they work in teams, you know. It's like you ought to see this shit. And Loki's funny. Loki will he'll start hopping.
They entertain you, Joe. That's all.
No, they piss me off. That's what they do.
You couldn't stand being alone without them there.
Well, you ought to see last night. I go to the back last night, and Tino walks behind me, and he stays about a step behind me the whole way. So I go in the back, brush my teeth, do all my stuff. I'm getting ready to go to bed, and he's still staying about a step behind me. Everything I'm doing, he's walking right behind me. So then when I turn around to turn off the light to go to bed, he runs in front of me, sits there and looks up at me. So then I reach down and he gets up. So I lay him on the bed and I put him under my arm, like right here. And I'll get like this. and it's just lay his head right there, and he goes, like he's purring almost, right? And I said, you just need some loving, huh? And that's all he does. He just lays there, and I just hug him, and he just lays there, and he just sits. He won't move. He just wants some loving. So at nighttime, he's got to get his loving, you know.
Yep. Well, he knows who Daddy loves.
Yeah, he knows who the boss is. He is. But he knows he's my best man. And she's my best girl, and Loki's my other best man. But I got Cleo right here, down by this side. I got Loki right here, and Tino sitting over on his chair. He's got a it's an outdoor patio type chair. It's actually for a kids' room. We used to sell them. I'm trying to think. It's called an orbit chair, like an orbit chair. And it's made out of a plastic. It's a molded plastic. And we're talking about as hard as you can get, like these cases. A molded chair, right? When you sit in there, it's the most comfortable thing you ever been in. Just the way you relax in it. I used to have 4 of them. I had 4 of them, 2 red and 2 blues. And I when I got the divorce, we had extra ones at the shop, and my Craig, the owner of the place, he looked at me and he said, "You got to get an apartment, right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get an apartment." He says, "Go in the back, all the damaged freight we got, all the stuff we've got that customers have complained about that came in damaged, we got paid for. Just go pick out what you want. Furnish it for the kids." I said, "Let me buy them from you." He says, you're gonna buy them from me, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna work it out different." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I might need you to work extra day sometime, everything like that, you know." So that's how he used to repay me for extra work. So he told me, he said, "And those bubble chairs," he said, "I'm not going to sell them anymore." He said, "I got 4 of them, take them." Like that, so they'll have chairs to sit around in. So I used to make it look like we had 4 of us. We made it almost like a sofa, put them together. They had them for the longest time. But everybody would look at them and think, "Boy, these things," my cousin, when he helped me move them in here, he said, "Boy, those things look uncomfortable." I said, "Sit in one." He sat in and he says, "Where can I get one?" You know? I said, "What I'm telling you." We used to, in the store, when we had nobody coming in, we were caught up with everything. I used to go sit out in the chair, in one of those chairs. Just kick back, you know? And then they'd have to come in there and say, "You falling asleep?" I said, "Yeah, a little bit. Let me get up," you know? But but I got 1 left because I sold 3 of them to a woman for like I think it was $70. I sold them $50 a piece, just because I was putting a little futon in here, and I bought the futon for somebody for $75. So I made 75 in the deal. But I tell you, I wish I'd have kept those chairs. I really wish I would have.
What did you do? Give them away?
Well, I sold 3 of them for 75 for 70 for I think I said 70. I think it was 75 or 50. It was 50 a piece. So I got 150 for them, and then I bought from another woman in the same area. We dropped. They came and picked them up. Then we went and picked up the futon, and she wanted 75 for the futon. So I put the futon where the chairs were to make it like a little sofa for the, so they could jump. All of them could just jump right up on it, and it's a leather type, so I didn't care about it. You know, they got on it. They got on it. I put a cover over it for the longest time, but Tina would get up there and he'd yank the cover off and lay on the plastic because it was cool.
Wow.
You know, on the vinyl. So now when they jump on it, just one side, when their paws hit it, they scratch it. So now I actually got pieces of vinyl that glue on that I got to redo it because they're starting to tear it. They're starting to fall off on one side. But it's a disposable futon. I'm not worried about it. But it's something that they can jump up on. Loki goes sit up there every once in a while. Cleo can't jump on it anymore because she got herself too fat. But she'll get on, if I put the steps over there, she'd go up the steps and get on it in a minute. But that, I mean, I really wish, and Tino took over that chair. He goes, gets on that chair and just sits there all day.
No
That's
kidding.
his place. He loves it. He took it over.
He doesn't have a hard time getting up there, does he?
Oh, hell no. He runs over there and he jumps from about a foot before the ottoman that's sitting there. I've got not the ottoman, it's the thing. Yeah, I guess it's the stool for the recliner that rocks. Yeah, I used to have a Detalier recliner in here with the it was, I guess I'm trying to think, I guess it's called the ottoman.
Yeah.
It rotates. And he jumps up there. When he jumps up there, it rotates, it goes bam into the plastic thing. And then he walks in. And when he jumps off, it goes bam into the plastic thing. And Justin will be asleep and he'll say, damn it.
That's funny.
So I leave it right there just to mess with Justin. When he hits it, you can hear it. Bam. So he jumps from about 2 or 3 feet before it, and he right up there, you know. And she goes and walks up. I got stairs next to it, so she walks up the stairs and gets on top. It's fun. It's a routine. I know if I go to the back, if he's coming back in the back, I'll hear it, bam, and I know he's coming. But I do that primarily just to mess with my son. I haven't got rid of it yet. But you see, when I start to make that move, when I decide the way I'm going, like the futon will probably wind up in the trash. You know, it's like that ottoman will wind up in the trash. I'm only taking the stuff that I need to take. And then I'll just refurnish there. Have it brought in, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a whole different. Now the futon I may keep. If I've got like a den area to have it to set up like where the dogs could have that'll be that futon, and I'll just set it up on them. If they want to jump up on something, if I'm that way, I don't have to worry about them jumping on something new.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, I think I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, I gotta go run up to that place, pay that bill, and I don't want to go up there. It's aggravating.
Yep.
I understand.
Yep.
Donald,
Business has taken my
being
attention
here,
away too.
Donald. Mark, thank you. Joe, we'll see you this evening, right?
I'll be here.
Okay, everybody, hey, have a great day and stay out of trouble. We'll see you all again later today.